9 taking place Sunday night. A lot of college basketball, NBA, plenty of stuff going on over the weekend. So plenty to get to. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I
It's
know how
Friday.
Landon's doing because I was downtown today, and the tour buses and the big transport trailers for the wrestling had taken
I'm gonna be
over
there
at
tonight.
FedEx Forum.
You're going tonight.
Oh, yeah. I've got my WWE Championship
Are you
in
going
the
in the
car
ring?
already.
You going off script and jumping in the ring?
Ooh, yeah. There you go. Get
No,
ready.
I've seen too many stories about what happens to people who interject from,
Well.
from the fan base.
Yeah, that's probably
Not received well.
No. Especially those guys. I wouldn't want to get in the ring with.
Well, the
professional
refs
wrestlers.
and like everyone in personnel
Yeah.
like attacks. the
Yeah.
Oh,
guy.
it's,
like,
it's full attack mode.
yeah, it's no pulling punches. It's like, what are you doing?
It's
like,
to completely send the sign of nobody else needs to try
yes,
this.
nobody needs to get involved.
What time do
so.
the matches start?
Event starts at 6:30 tonight. So after
So
this,
you're
I'm
busting out
booking
here.
it.
I love
yeah.
it. I love it.
Gonna be
You know,
fun.
that is, I'll be honest, like, wrestling's not really my thing, but, like, for people who are
Well, wrestling may not be, but wrestling.
wrestling, yeah, it's very
Wrestling.
different. That's true, Brett. Very different. But I mean, for somebody that is a wrestling fan, what a great weekend it's going to be downtown.
It really is.
The WWE tonight, you've got Grizzlies tomorrow night, and then Sunday, Tigers in a rematch against Temple. So I mean, a super fun weekend.
The FedEx Forum employees have really had a push. They've been really busy. I know they are ready for All-Star break and a break.
Yeah.
Because they've really been pushed. But tonight downtown, that begins. How many matches?
Oh man, I don't know. It varies.
Who's the star?
The star for SmackDown is
Cody
definitely
Rhodes, right?
Well, Cody Rhodes, yeah, but also you've got a lot of storylines. I talk about this on Wednesday on John Harden's show at 11:30. So
I heard you.
yeah, so
Sounded good.
So this week it's going to be fallout stories from the Royal Rumble. So we're going to see Jey Uso, who won the Royal Rumble. We're going to
Does
see.
anybody throw fire?
Does anybody throw? No.
Does anybody bleed anymore at wrestling?
Yes,
Okay.
they did at the Royal Rumble. Kevin
Okay.
Owens was busted open. Great ladder match. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, I talk about this on Wednesday too. It's like you don't even have to be a fan. You can just like admire
Sure.
how great the community of wrestling is.
We've come a
Everybody's
long way.
we certainly
Squared
have.
circle at the roundhouse.
Yeah, so it's just a great time, and the Memphis fans that go to WWE events are always just crazy.
Yeah.
So I get crazy. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Good deal.
Well, you know, another person who's big into the wrestling that I know usually goes when they're in town. Jason Munns usually talks about how he goes
Jason,
down
yeah.
there. So we'll have to ask Jason if he's going tonight.
So yesterday, and it was a whole big issue with the proper address, but I finally got it yesterday. A friend of mine at Christmas sent me an autographed picture of Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, he did. And I finally got it.
Finally got it.
He said, put this in your memorabilia.
Only 2 months late.
Yeah.
That's all right. Merry Christmas.
Well, it came to a wrong address, and then he had to retrieve it
Oh,
through the post,
Lord.
and it was quite an ordeal, but I finally got it.
I think a Christmas gift coming in February is fantastic. I mean,
It stood apart.
it's great.
It-
It makes you feel that
Yeah.
Christmas spirit after
Sure did.
2 months after the Christmas spirit.
Maybe
is
we need to
gone.
try that more
Maybe
often.
I don't know. I know you got the Christmas in July. I don't know how much Christmas in February will really take shape, but maybe we can get on that.
Still paying for it in February.
Well, that's true. That is true. Last night we had a lot of NFL news with NFL honors. We got all of the awards. We also got the Hall of Fame, and probably the biggest story, especially here in this area, was no Eli Manning on that list.
And I'm surprised, but I'm not irate, not as much as I was kind of earlier in the week when
Sure.
I kind of got a heads up that it's probably not going to work out. None of the inductees that was first time. It was all kind of repeat people. Not that this matters. It really doesn't matter. It should be for both. But of the 4 players going in, can you tell me the grand number of Super Bowls for all 4?
I know it's not many. First off, there's not many players going in.
Gates, Allen, and
2.
Sharp.
And Sharp, yeah, 2. I know Sharp doesn't have any.
0.
0. So nobody has any. Wow.
And we associate, I think we associate the NFL as the ring sport, don't we?
Sure, yeah.
That separates you. Troy Aikman, without those Super Bowls, how great was he? Well, again, you take Billy Joel's biggest hits away from him. How great was he?
That'd be a lot of music to take away from Billy Joel.
That's right. That's right. But that is part of it. And
Sure.
You don't win it in a vacuum. You don't just get to, you take the Super Bowls out. You don't just get to that point without, in the Giants' case, in Eli's case, wild card both years.
Sure.
You had to win all those on the road.
Yeah.
May have been one exception in there. They might have been a division winner one time or got a game at home one time. But both the NFC championship games at Lambeau in record cold. Yeah. That's a mouthful. Record cold at Lambeau.
Yeah.
At the final game at Candlestick in record mud. That's noteworthy. Record mud at the Stick.
Yeah.
But I think you'll get in. Now, for all the people that had been so crazed that he didn't deserve going in first year, I ask them now, okay, you got your way. He's not going in. He's not being part of the ceremony in August. He didn't go in first time. Surely you're not saying he never goes in.
Right.
I would love to hear a case made for he never should. There's not one.
Not, no.
And you have a lot of people talking about his one-loss record, and it was 500. I think he was 108 and 108, or maybe 118 and 118. Warren Moon was one game over 500.
Right. Well, and that's the thing I hate about, all-star vote. I mean, we talked about it in a little bit of a different sense, about a month ago when it was Ichiro getting into the Hall of Fame, and there was one person that did not vote him for the Hall of Fame. Now, it's very different. Ichiro's going in, and he's there.
Going to track him down, too.
I know he is, and I
he's
hope,
hell-bent to find him.
He is.
And just have a discussion of why.
And I think the thing is, and obviously very different, Ichiro's going in, he's already been named in, Eli has to wait another year, but the idea that we were all talking about around Ichiro, whoever that voter is, and we still don't know, we will, I'm sure, soon, but that voter was never going to not put Ichiro in. And so why not the first ballot? If you think he's a Hall of Fame candidate, if you think he belongs in the Hall of Fame,
is he having a good next 3 years?
Exactly. And so same thing.
Eli better be really good next year on Manning cast.
Oh, man, yeah.
A lot of pressure.
All pro Manning cast.
No interceptions on Manning cast.
Nothing. And so, just to not get in is almost even more of, how many of those people were sitting there? Like you said, we kind of talk about these Hall of Fame voters sometimes as, they really think highly of themselves as being all-star voters. How many of them were really sitting there going, well, Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer. If you're having that conversation, you put him into the Hall of Fame.
And Brian, all these years we've been around each other, I know you've heard me say one thing that I really like about the football voters in Canton, by the very nature of, 11 men on each side, 22 on the field at one time. Baseball only has max 10 people. Well, you might have bases loaded,
sure,
but 9 position players. We know that, and maybe the batter and base runner's on. So you have a bigger class. Now it looks like the NFL wants to go to a really limited number every year instead of the more open-the-door, expansive classes. That's fine.
Yeah.
Everything I say today, I want to make sure I'm not critical of the 4 going in.
Sure.
They should have been in.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can tell the story of the NFL without the 2 Allens, without Gates, and without Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
How in the world Sterling Sharp wasn't in?
Crazy.
And it was. I think it does shock people that he was not part of that Green Bay Super Bowl. Though.
No, it is surprising. I know a lot of people, reading stuff and watching stuff today about it. That was kind of like the big nugget that everyone was putting in the show is, you probably forgot he never won a Super Bowl.
But they absolutely deserve to be in. Yeah. I feel bad for Yonda and Vinatieri and other omitted or not in. Announced last night, not just Eli Manning. I think all of them will get in at some point. But now we're going to get in for Eli Manning particularly. We're going to get into a run of quarterbacks like Drew Brees that I think would be ahead of him and should be ahead of him.
Yeah.
So how long will the wait be? We'll have to wait until he's, I'm sorry, an old man and had passed away like Kenny Stabler.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Stabler should have been in 20 years before he got in.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think the weirdest thing about Eli not getting in was how small this class was. I mean, you've got 3 guys getting in and then a senior inductee in Sterling Sharp. How small it was, the fact that it felt like all the storylines were there of in New Orleans and just
really
everything that city
perfect.
means. And then you've got him doing work with FanDuel for the Super Bowl. They're doing the Kick of Destiny, him and Peyton. It just felt like everything was building up to
He's getting paid for all that.
Well, of course. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
His face is everywhere. I was reading something today. I think it was on NFL.com, and the person that wrote it said driving into New Orleans, there were billboards, FanDuel billboards and stuff with Eli's face on it. It felt like this week was going to be a big week for Eli Manning, and then we don't get that.
2 years, whenever New Orleans was announced for this one, and I realized that it would coincide.
Yeah.
And I said, it's just too lucky. It's just too fortuitous. This is too good for them to enjoy. As I said yesterday, and Archie turned 76 this coming May. I hope it's many productive years left for just one of the finest people I've ever been around in my life. I wanted it so badly for him. Where he could see it and enjoy it, both this weekend and in summer. So that's not going to be the case. Fine.
Sure.
Don't want to trash it because I didn't get my way.
No. Because like you said, I mean, the guys that got in very much deserved to get in, and I'm really happy for them, especially Antonio Gates. I mean, Antonio Gates was one of the first guys, as a kid that I watched and was like, this guy's incredible.
It was magical.
Seeing him get in was really cool last night.
Just catch machine every single Sunday.
Unbelievable. And so, no, I mean, I think 2 things can be true. I think
that's a logjam we're getting ready to have at tight end.
You're right. About to be a lot of really good tight ends. But I think 2 things can be true about last night. You can be happy and glad that the guys got in, but also disappointed in the fact that Eli Manning
but it's not.
didn't get in.
I remember, Bryant, in this market and some on these airwaves, after Peyton didn't win the Heisman Trophy. And one very famously, I'll never say the H word again. That was
the H word being Heisman?
Yeah, I mean it was asinine. I mean, I was there. I was very sad he didn't win. I don't think he was robbed. No. I didn't then.
Right.
And the fax machine lit me up back then with disgruntled Tennessee fans and fans of the Mannings.
Of course.
But Charles Woodson ended up winning. If it was electoral college, it was a landslide.
It was over early. You're calling it early.
John King called it early, and the balloons dropped. That's correct. And I didn't think it was some big sports misdeed, but there were a couple around here and some on this station that they wanted to play Captain Memphis and Captain Area instead of just being straight about it.
Sure, yeah.
And I wasn't going to do that.
Right.
I deply dejected that he didn't win.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been great for the trophy. I think Charles Woodson has been great for the trophy.
Absolutely. He's been a fantastic Heisman. When he won it and since winning it, he has been
and strolled right into Canton and backed it up with a stellar NFL career.
Exactly.
And every time we do these Big Four lists, any team he was ever on, he's on it.
He is on that list. That's right. So I mean,
life goes on.
Yeah, it was night though, but congratulations to the guys that got in. We also got the NFL awards last night. MVP Josh Allen. That's kind of been the biggest talk today of kind of that race between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And
if you played blind resume, Josh Allen doesn't win.
No, he doesn't. I mean, look at those numbers.
Ronnie's Millsap can see that's right. That stat line.
That's right. Yeah.
So why did he win?
I think
voter fatigue.
I don't know voter fatigue. I think one of the big reasons, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but kind of when I was sitting down and kind of thinking of what went into the heads of the voters that voted for this, I think a lot of it had to do with the surrounding cast of what Baltimore had and then what Buffalo had. I mean, Buffalo didn't have any all-pro guys on that roster, and still, a lot of it had to do with Josh Allen being awesome.
So Derrick Henry may have hurt Lamar Jackson.
And not just him. I mean, there are guys all over that field. But yeah, I mean, when you can step back and hand it off, I think a lot of people look at that and go, look at Josh Allen. He's, look at who he's throwing it to, and look at who he's handing it off to, and then look at Lamar Jackson. Again, not saying that that's right or wrong or whatever, but I do think that's got to be part of it for sure.
Yeah, and I come back to, I don't vote on that much stuff. I'm trying to think of everything I vote. Heisman's probably very honored.
Sure.
Honored to do that. I think every one of these votes should be public. I think they should release it. I don't think it should be incumbent upon the voter, whether it's preseason media days votes or hell MVP of the Liberty Bowl.
Right.
Release how everybody voted.
Sure. Yeah.
And I state your name. Put your get the ballot. Bryant Dacus, Brett Norsworthy, Landon Schmidt, Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and how you voted.
Yeah.
I think those Hall of Fame voters yesterday, it should be revealed.
Yeah.
You shouldn't that baseball voter that's kind of on the run,
quite literally on the run,
dodging doing everything they can to avoid being doxxed is the cool, goofy new phrase. Let more rather than less. I want the bright light of scrutiny on everything.
Yeah.
Big, small, public. For sure, if it's public dollars.
Sure.
Like the people that get mad at me when I get the scan count. It's public information.
Yeah.
It's a state entity with a contract.
Yep.
It's public.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything wrong. The public needs to know it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what these airwaves, why they're publicly controlled, called the FCC.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, but I'm with you. I mean, it was
But we are in a back-scratching,
We are.
good old boy and girl network.
Yeah, no.
Count me out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So it was that's been kind of the controversial pick today. Josh Allen winning. It was the closest MVP vote since 2016. Allen received 27 first-place votes. Lamar Jackson had 23. And then kind of the more controversial of it was that Lamar Jackson was the first-team All-Pro quarterback, so he had gotten the
Very incongruent, to use a big word.
Yes, very.
Better word for that, stupid. But
it's the first time since John Elway in 1987 for a player to win MVP without also being a first-team All-Pro.
Who was first-team All-Pro that year?
That's a good question. I should have looked it up. That's on me.
I'd bet Marino.
I bet it would be, but that's
maybe Montana. But
1987, the last time that happened. That's insane.
Don't say that like it was that long ago.
No. Only in sports years. Sports years. The other ones: Coach of the Year Kevin O'Connell, Comeback Player of the Year Joe Burrow, Offensive Player of the Year Saquon Barkley, Defensive Player Patrick Surtain II, Offensive Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels. Of course, it was Defensive Rookie of the Year Jared Verse. So some good honors last night.
Sure was.
I think all of them were very easy to know where those were going, but definitely the MVP, a little controversy around it. Well, we got a lot to get into today, so let me go ahead and set up today's show before we get to top and not top story. 3:30, Alan Bell from the AB3 and Driving the Line. He joins us to talk some wagering. I say this as nice as I can. I always love talking to Alan Bell, but this is my favorite favorite Friday.
This is a good
every
one.
year
It is.
that Alan Bell joins us because he always gets us ready with the prop picks.
Hands out
and
winners.
everything. He sure does. For the Super Bowl. So we'll talk to Alan.
We like green check marks.
We love green check marks. 3:45, talk about the Grizzlies. Big game for them tomorrow night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder will be on their second leg of a back-to-back, so we'll talk about that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BamSports.net. He'll join us again. We'll talk more wagering. We'll talk the Super Bowl. Talk the weekend in the NBA and college basketball as well with Bruce. 4:30, we'll talk some college basketball. Ty Richardson is at the Waste Management Open this weekend, so
and spoiler alert, he's wasted.
Well, you can draw your own conclusions, but yes, he let us know that, what was it, about 11 o'clock. He had 10% left on his phone.
He said, I might not be airworthy, and
yes.
we have a responsibility not to put on drunk people.
We appreciate Ty for letting us know that. But we do have his Super Bowl pick and score, so we'll talk about that. We'll add that to our list. But we'll talk college basketball at 4:30 with a big weekend coming up. Some really good games this weekend, including the Tigers in their rematch game against Temple. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Jason Munns, the Commercial Appeal Tiger beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. He's presented every single week by Jim's Place Grill in Carville. Plenty of Tigers to talk about. We got to talk about what happened against Tulsa and the rematch on Sunday against Temple. 5:30, we will break down Super Bowl 59 with our pick and preview. We'll also name our MVPs for Sunday's game, so that'll be fun at 5:30. 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. It's the preseason pool and patio sale going on now at Family Leisure. Spring is just around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about your backyard entertainment. 2024 pricing on all above pools and patio furniture. Beat the rush and get in line for your pool installation now. Patio furniture is up to 70% off to make room for the incoming inventory. Play gyms, trampolines, outdoor kitchens, they're all on sale too. And spas up to $3,000 off. Mention this ad and get a $250 gift card with a pool, spa, or patio furniture purchase. So head over to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Landon Schmidt. We are Sportstime. He's Bryant. I'm Brett, and we're with you until 6 o'clock on this Friday leading in to Big Game Weekend. We want you to join our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear, except for Ty Richardson, on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. He's so great to us. We can't be irritated at him.
Not at all.
This, as Bryant said, we're always in our Family Leisure Studios, and this hour always brought to you by Lexus of Memphis, the only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be Super Bowl 59. Sunday night, the Chiefs and the Eagles will meet. We'll see, will the Eagles win that Super Bowl? They were just here a couple of years ago. It's pretty much, for the most part, the same group. It's the same quarterback and the same head coach. Obviously, a different running back that has really been the story of the season. But the big story, will the Kansas City Chiefs get that three-peat? They're close. I don't know if many people thought they would be this close before the season started. And then throughout the year, the biggest knock on this team was that they weren't winning games by large enough margins. Both these teams have been unbelievable this year. I had my questions about the Eagles before the season started with how last year ended, all of what seemed like dysfunction behind closed doors in the locker room. They bring their head coach back, Nick Sirianni. They pretty much bring back the whole group of guys from last year. And what do? I thought it was going to be a disaster of a season, but they go out there and now find themselves in the Super Bowl. It feels like we're here now with all the awards last night, with the Hall of Fame class being announced. It feels like the Super Bowl.
Show in 10 minutes.
I was about to say, the pregame show started 3 days ago for the Super Bowl, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I really do think, I know we've kind of been talking about it all week. We'll make our predictions at 5:30. I think this is going to be another heck of a Super Bowl. I think we're going to get a really good game.
All our pickers are thinking a close game for sure. My top story, Super Bowl weekend is here. Whole country will be watching Sunday at 5:30 Central down in New Orleans. With New Orleans and the Dome on Poydras, the biggest stage again. Michael Jordan introduced himself to the world in that building in 1982 with that jump shot for Carolina. Patrick Ewing also in that game, kind of his introduction. Akeem Olajuwon was there on Saturday at that Final Four, kind of his introduction as well. Ali, Leonard both won there. The no Moss fight, Leonard over Duran was there. Football, Bryant, Paterno, Saban, Bowden, Spurrier, all won there. TB12, a young TB12, won his first Super Bowl there. Roger Staubach with the Super Bowl there. Ray Lewis, Brett Favre. Pistol Pete played basketball there for the Jazz. One of the great cathedrals in American sport. Augusta National, Churchill Downs, Fenway, Wrigley, the Rose Bowl, and the Dome.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's the weekend for Memphis basketball. It starts tomorrow night at FedEx Forum when the Grizzlies host the Thunder at 7 p.m. We know this Thunder team only 9 losses on the season, 40-9, 17-6 on the road. They'll come here. It will be the second leg of a back-to-back because they play tonight. We know Chet Holmgren is set to make his return to court tonight when the Thunder host the Raptors. Then they'll come here. A lot of people thinking that means Chet will not suit up for tomorrow night's game against the Grizzlies. But even with or without Chet, we've seen Chet has been out for a couple months now, and the Thunder have been perfectly fine without him. He adds another element, but now we'll see what the post-trade deadline Grizzlies look like. I know a lot of people have been talking. Kleiman is speaking with reporters right now, so we'll have, I'm sure, quotes to talk about later in the show when we talk about Grizzlies with what he said. But we talked about it yesterday. The Grizzlies made the decision of these are the guys we're riding with through the playoffs, and so we know those are the guys. We'll see how they perform against a really tough matchup tomorrow night against the Thunder, and then Sunday afternoon, we know what it is for the Tigers. The rematch against the only team that has beat them in conference play so far. Temple comes to town. I know Jamal Mashburn did not play in Temple's most recent game. I'm not
Overtime
sure.
loss.
Yeah, it was. I don't know the extent of that
last
injury.
night.
It was last night, yeah.
We're talking like it was 3 weeks
well,
ago.
I mean, all my days run together, especially with games.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. That was last night. He did not play, so I don't know the extent of that injury, if he'll be able to go against the Tigers. But certainly they're looking for revenge and try to get that loss back that they took on the road.
My not top story, great Hall of Fame class. So I don't want any besmirchment of this class. Every single one of them deserving and been deserving. They probably all should have been first ballot. Just exactly why did Antonio Gates have to wait? Why should he? How long should you have to wait? You're not going to play anymore, so put them in. They should have been in a long time ago. This is a good 4-man class, but why just 4? 22's on the field anytime a football play's going on. Well, you can play with less than that, but you can't play with more than that.
No.
And so it's bigger than baseball. It's bigger than basketball. Why the Hall of Fame classes should be bigger? What, supply chain? We have a shortage of gold thread for the gold jackets.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a limited amount of speech time at Canton come August?
That's right. You have
We got to keep it in the broadcast
right.
window. I mean, what are we doing here? We can get there and give speeches for 3.5
All
days
day.
if we want to. And I think we should. And Torrey Holt, Adam Vinatieri, Eli, Yonda, I think they should have all been in this year.
I think so too, and it's a shame that none of them were in that group. But again, congrats to the guys that did get in. Well, that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we return, we're talking some wagering with Alan Bell.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every dollar you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's on Highway 64 in Marble, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a Mother Pheasant Plucker, I pluck mother pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call 5Ash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. 5Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Nation, don't miss your Grizzlies tomorrow at 7 p.m. for an epic battle against the Western Conference leading Oklahoma City Thunder. The first 5,000 fans get a classic edition Super Grizz cape and mask set to celebrate Grizzlies' 30th birthday. Get your tickets today at Grizzlies.com.
Love is in the air, and it's time to remember all the sweethearts in your life. The best way I know is Dinstall's. It's Valentine's Day on the 14th. We're celebrating on Monday with our annual Valentine's Day remote at Dinstall's, where they make the candy on Pleasant View. We will be launching chocolate-covered strawberry season. That begins on Wednesday. Remember, nobody dips them like Dinstall's, and we'll see you on Monday on Pleasant View. Now, back to Sports Time. Sports with Lexus. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Service. Here are your hosts, Star Sports Worthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios, and joining us now to talk some wagering, Alan Bell from the AB3 and Driving the Line. He joins us now. It's always one of my favorite weeks that we have you on, Alan. Obviously,
said earlier it was his favorite.
It is.
Alan.
It is my favorite. I'm not going to mince words here. It's my favorite day that we have you on because not only is it Super Bowl week, but we're only 1 week away from college baseball, and I love getting college baseball plays from you. So it's
Alan's
a
going
great
to single-handedly shut down betting on college baseball.
I think he already has. It's getting ridiculous out there. But Alan, let's get to this Super Bowl game, and let's start with the side and total. Then we'll get into some props. Where you at? I'm seeing now ESPN has it as a pick'em, and the total at 48.5. What do you think about the Super Bowl 59?
Yeah, man. First off, appreciate you guys having me back, and yeah, I can't wait for college baseball. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I'll say this. The public is starting to get in on the bet, right? Like, we've had 2 weeks to where it's the big money guys, and shows like ours to where, we get ahead of it. We look at it, right? But, generally the mass public, they start betting today, tomorrow, and then Sunday morning. So you see it moving to the Eagles' way. And I agree with them. Like, the Eagles are a better football team in all 3 phases.
Yep.
I think they're better offensively. I think they're better defensively. Special teams, but they don't really use a lot of special teams. They use their offense as a special team. So I like Philly here. I also like the over. I think you're going to have 2 teams that are not going to be nervous. They're not going to be afraid. All right, really the only player in this game that hasn't been to a Super Bowl is Saquon Barkley, and I'm not concerned with him. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we're going to have a game of 2 professional football teams that can play at a very high level. Like, not to speak coach cliche, but I mean it that this is going to be a heck of a game, boys. It's going to be a good one. But, yeah, give me Eagles and over. Yeah.
Eagles and over. You like Eagles money line or just getting that scant point and a half?
Yeah, well, I'll take point and a half, you'll give it to me, right?
Heck
but,
yeah.
I mean, but if I had to pick money line, I would play the Eagles.
Okay, for our picks, we're getting the score. What score are you going with?
I'm going to go 33-28, which is a weird score.
Sure is.
But yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you why here, man. Like,
3-8 on the square game will be lovely.
Exactly.
Bell.
Yeah, go get paid. All right, and I'll tell you why. The Eagles have had issues in regards to kicking extra points. It's strange. Now, they had no issue kicking 57-yard field goals. They seem to have that down, but they have had issues there. And all we need is one extra point or one penalty after a touchdown, right? And things are going to start going haywire.
Yeah,
we're gonna have
because then you start chasing 2-pointers.
Absolutely, and the Eagles will absolutely do it. Kansas City doesn't do it too much. Like, Andy Reid is a very, like, he's aggressive, but he's conservative. You know what I mean? Like, he's smart with field goals. He takes them. But, yeah, like, once we kind of get in that function of, okay, well, let's just say Philly. Yeah, Philly's chasing now. They'll keep doing it all game. So that's why, like, I kind of have a feeling, a 33-28 style, which is a ton of points, but I think we're going to have a lot of points.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love a high-scoring Super Bowl. Let's get into some of these props.
Yeah,
what do you
the
like
beer
with
that
the
made
props?
Alan Bell famous,
That's
the prop
right.
bets.
Yeah. So I'll say this. All right. So we've got, we've got bets for player props and then also game bets. All right. So for player prop wise, don't overthink it, man. And I'll say this too. All right. If you're gonna bet Saquon Barkley bets, do it now. Do not wait until Sunday, because once the public at about $21 billion, is going to start coming in, right? Those numbers are going to go crazy. They've already moved, and they're going to continue to do it, right? So I like Saquon Barkley to score 2+ touchdowns in the game. Can happen on the ground, in the air. All right, you get that about plus 300. All right, I like Saquon Barkley's longest rush, over 24.5 yards. We played that all playoffs long, and, I mean, this guy, he's going to have 24, 25 carries, right? So you're going to have the opportunity there. I also like Patrick Mahomes throwing interception. I think that he does it. These are two quarterbacks that haven't turned the ball over, right? But the Eagles' defense, #1 pass defense in the league. Like, we look at their rush defense, which is for real. Their pass defense is better than that. You know what I mean? And then you look at game props. So think about these. They sound crazy, but they're not. Tell me where you would go. At plus 180, you have over 2.5 players to throw a pass in Super Bowl 59.
Take it.
I agree. Because
Two
number
quarterbacks
one,
and a gadget play.
Yep.
absolutely. Gadget plays on both sides. A.J. Brown.
A
has
fake punt.
cannon.
Somebody throws a fake punt.
Absolutely, right? Then number two, if any of these quarterbacks who are both going to be running get hurt, they have backup quarterbacks with experience. They're not going to
best
slow
point
down.
of the day right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get that at DraftKings about plus 180. All right?
2.5 throwers.
Yep. So let's just assume Mahomes and Hurts both attempt one pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian's laughing at my simplicity.
Throwers, yeah, I love it.
But I love it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next one. This is minus 105. Over 2.5 rushing touchdowns in the game, and it counts for both teams.
Oh, man.
Right? Like, Jalen Hurts and Saquon can take care of this by
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Saquon can take care of this by
Couple
himself.
Philly pushes. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so I like that one. Now, you know how we talk about punts? Betting
Oh,
punts,
yeah.
right? So we like the down inside the 5. We like, playing like over 7.5 punts in a game. Well, these two teams don't punt very often. So we need to adjust. There's a bet on DraftKings and BetMGM. I think pretty much every book has it now. Okay? Will at least one punt be a touchback? Right?
Yeah.
Plus 125 for yes. What? It sounds crazy.
One roll into the end zone. Yeah. Touchback.
That's it. One punt. Like one punt going to the end zone. I'll take the shot at that just
All
worth
day.
the price of admission. Yeah, right? So, and then you look at the game props, and here's where you can work with it. Because, look, you can bet both teams to score X amount of points, right? 5, 10, 15, 15, 20, 30, etc. Both teams to score 20-plus points, and then you could pick whichever money line, like just whoever wins the game. You think the Chiefs win the game, and both teams score 20. You think the Eagles win the game, both teams score 20. Both of them are almost plus 275.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, all right, pick who you like, to win the game. I understand it's difficult. We're going to have a tight one, but I think what do you guys think in terms of score? Like, do you think both teams get to 20-plus points?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree, right? So now it's like, okay, well, for anybody out there, like, you might not, I like the Eagles, you might not like the Chiefs, and how can I blame you for it, right? You can look at that and say, now I don't have to play the over either, right? But I can play both teams to get to 20, and I would take the Chiefs. Boom, plus 275. You almost tripled your money if that would hit. So,
on Sunday, will you be live with Driving the Line?
yes, yeah. We'll be live 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll also be live about an hour before the game. I think, what is kickoff, 5:30 Central?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. Yeah.
I love it. Anything else you like? And I know last week, I believe you talked about the Patrick Mahomes over rushing attempts. Anything you like in terms of Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, so we spoke about the interception.
Yeah.
I like the rushing attempts. This was at 6.5. Usually, we get it at 4.5 here. But he's going to have to run. He's just going to have to do it. And it is the Super Bowl. There's no tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
got all winter to get well.
Yeah, you're not worried about next week's opponent. Like, this is for everything. And then if you want a fun one, okay, Gatorade color. The favorite is purple at plus 225. The Chiefs have won 2 straight Super Bowls, and they've had purple Gatorade 2 straight years. So now you're betting on, is this a team that, they I forget the word that I'm looking for, like they stick consistent, like, with what they do. You know what I mean? Like, baseball's big on that.
Almost like superstitious.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's the word, right? Like, yeah, like Tony Vitello is that's why Tennessee's baseball team always wore the black.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, we win in this, and we don't, like, I don't care. For home, road, we're wearing
baseball
those.
people are notorious.
Yeah, they're another level, right?
Yeah.
But, so it's like, if you
They
want
have snakes in their
fun,
head.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want something fun, like, you can bet on something like that. But yeah, man, like Patrick Mahomes.
Now, if that purple hits, you've got to promise me that you tweet out every lyric from Prince's Purple Rain on your Twitter site.
There we go. In the rain. I'll make sure that it's raining as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything on Tom Brady, maybe something he'll say? Are there any prop bets out there on kind of code words from him?
Yeah, there are. So it's like, and I can't remember all the ones that he had. It was like, I think the biggest one.
If a drinking game was WoW with Tony Romo, people would be in comas.
Oh my God! Yeah, you'd be done. Like, you wouldn't even make it to the end of the first quarter, right? Like, Tom Brady's it's always, will he criticize the referee? And I think the over under is like 2.5, right?
Oh,
and,
big under.
Oh, big. Yeah,
Company
like,
man extraordinaire.
Yeah, in a Super Bowl, he's going to be wearing them out on anything. So, yeah, I think it's 2.5 on that one. It's a pretty low number, yeah.
That's funny. Last thing for you, Alan. I know we mentioned it, college baseball starting next week. Do you do anything with the maybe team to make the College World Series, team to win their conference? Anything there for college baseball?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think that this is a good time to take a look at, like, picking who's going to win the College World, like the national championship. Yeah, I mean, that's impossible, right? But, teams to win their conference, teams to win, or teams to make it to Omaha. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that if you look at Texas A&M, they're going to be they return almost to everybody, right? Except the coach.
Plus money right now.
Exactly.
It's tough with A&M or Arkansas, but kind of in that Ole Miss getting theirs and State getting their title and Tennessee, A&M or Arkansas is kind of next, aren't they?
Feels like it.
They are. And Arkansas, like, somebody said A&M, probably should have beaten Tennessee, and I wouldn't argue it. Like, they were very.
But Arkansas
very good.
always chokes.
Oh, like, they just don't have the hitting, but they hit the transfer portal this year, right? Like, they always have pitching. They always have dominant pitching, and they win 5-2 every single game, right? Mm-hmm. But Can they hit? Arkansas is a good bet there. You know who else is going to be good? It's Vanderbilt, Tim Corbin. He finally got, and it's crazy as it sounds because Vanderbilt has more money in the federal government, but he finally got some
They
NIL
spend it on
money.
school, though, Alan.
Yeah, I know.
What do you do that for?
I know, right? Yeah, you know, I always feel bad for the financial pockets of Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
no, like he finally got NIL money, and he's a heck of a guy. He's a heck of a coach, and I can assure you, he don't like seeing a team in Knoxville winning, right? Like he's
Alan,
gonna do
as we
something about
know,
that.
Corbin had NIL money before we called it that.
That's right.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But Vanderbilt's gonna be a good team.
Yeah, I like those. I mean, all three of those that you just gave to make the World Series: Texas A&M plus 120, Arkansas plus 210, Vanderbilt plus 370. So I mean, a lot of value there before the season starts. So that'll be fun. I'm super excited for college baseball to get started next week. I'm super excited for the Super Bowl this week, and especially now that I have all these bets. Alan, thanks so much.
You unloaded on us today.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Hey, best time of the year, man. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have good luck.
Good luck, Alan.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Alan.
Alan Bell with us every week, and he really did lay out the bets there.
Yes, he did.
The big takeaway, 33-28 Philadelphia. Now, we can reveal Greg Gaston's pick because he did this morning on his show. He's 24-23 Eagles with that pick, and now with Allen's 14 pickers this week.
Wow.
7-7.
So we have Bruce, Ty.
We have, I know Ty's.
Was that counted in with the 14?
It is not.
Okay, so Bruce, Ty, Jason, and then
Arthur,
us three. So 7 more picks.
And Connor and Darian.
And Connor and Darian. So 8 more picks.
That's it.
Wow. So, it's coming down to
So that'd be 22.
That's right.
What if we fell on 11 up, 11 down? We could.
We really could.
And it's that big a coin toss game.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's in the biggest margin has been 6. 6 one way for Philadelphia, and and Keith Smith was 6 Kansas City. Everything else is in tight trading range. Todd Lebo was 6 Kansas City.
That's
nobody going double digits yet.
Yeah, yet. We'll see what happens. 5:30 at the end of the 5:30 segment, we'll have all of them. So
that'll be it. Our last pick of the year.
It's hard to believe. But we still have Tiger Bankroll. That's all.
We do.
That's what really
Then we'll
matters.
have golf picks.
Then we'll have golf
There's
picks.
always something.
We're always
to bet
picking
on.
something.
Yeah.
We're always doing some sort of betting. But let's go ahead and get to another break. And when we return, we got to talk some Grizzlies. That's next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? We have it covered at Humdinger. It's quick, it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. Many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports Boat and RV Show, February 14th to the 16th at the Anchor Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing hooks with huge show specials. Enter for your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports Boat and RV Show, February 14th to the 16th. For more info, go to MemphisBoatShow.com. That's MemphisBoatShow.com.
Sports and Mexican food. You can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games and all the TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with reservations from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $4.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
At
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now, back to Sports Time. Sports with President This hour is brought to you by Lexus Cigars. Here are your hosts, Star Sports Movie, Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. A couple minutes left in this first hour. We got to talk Grizzlies. They're back in action tomorrow night against the Oklahoma City
Magic
Thunder.
number 29.
And a new team behind
with the
them.
Nuggets.
Yeah, I did not know that earlier today, and you told me that.
29 also with the Rockets.
Sure, but it's still Rockets moving in the wrong direction right now. Have they won a game since losing to the Grizzlies? I don't think they have.
They have not.
It's crazy.
We won't be able to clip a number off a day because we're getting ready to approach All-Star break. So let's just say if it took 40 days to hit that 29. Well, there's 21 days left this month, right?
Yeah.
We would need 8 days into March. We're not wrapping it up that quickly.
No.
It's going to take longer.
It's going to take a lot longer than that, but
I'll take if it comes down to the last day of the year.
Sure.
I think they get it before that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Barring injury.
Definitely barring
Everything's
injury.
barring injury.
Everything, that's the big thing.
Painfully no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just last year and what that was. Zach.
But it takes a really, really bad occurrence to not blow somebody some good. And the GG, Vince, other thing, Jaren, I'm going to say it, growing up last year and realizing this is a Mail-It-In year, but I got to be a pro and go out there every night. I got to do that.
Yeah.
He did.
He did. He absolutely did. And you look at what Jaren's doing right now. I mean, he's on another level. I mean, he's playing so much better.
Taylor Jenkins recognized at the end of the year, I got to make staff changes.
Yep. And
so out of last year's utter calamity, some good came.
It didn't feel good during the season
never
last
does.
year. But yes, I think a lot of good did come from that. And Zach Kleiman spoke to reporters today about kind of everything that happened at trade deadline.
Very candid.
Very candid. Acknowledged that they did, in fact, go out and try to get stars and try to go out and get guys that would help this team, and that really the teams that they approached to try to make those trades, they didn't want those trades. They didn't like what was being offered, and most all of those guys that they were looking to go get weren't moved. You think of Kevin Durant, you think of Cam Johnson, those type of guys that the Grizzlies were really in on, it seemed like, at the deadline. Neither of those guys were moved.
And spoke, I think, very candidly and honestly about Marcus Smart and LaRavia. We moved on.
Yeah.
Missed.
Yeah.
It happens. Nobody bats 1,000.
No. And, I think
as smart as he was and as smart as he thought he was, Bill Walsh wasn't right every time.
That's right.
He tried Ronaldo Nehemiah at wide receiver.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you strike out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you strike out looking. You know?
do.
But no, I think, we can all say the Marcus Smart experience failed in Memphis. It did not work out. But
he hated being here from day one. I called it from day one. You could look at him and tell he was the most miserable human on earth.
Sure. But I don't think the idea of bringing Marcus Smart in was a bad idea. It just didn't work out, you know? And sometimes that happens.
It does. It was not a bad idea. It was certainly worth trying.
Yeah.
But the great Jack Nicklaus admonition, the biggest thing you need to do after you get in trouble is start trying to get out of trouble.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
I'm over here in the tall grass. What I need to do? Not go for the green. Get out of the tall grass.
Get out of this and then figure that out.
And they recognize it didn't work with Smart. It didn't work with Roddy and LaRavia. I don't think they should forever, especially with the hits they've had.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you look at everything that they have that's been a slam dunk. It outweighs the misses, at least right now. And so, I think
I don't even know a real fair knock on the Grizzlies right now. If you I'm going to find something to get a soapbox out about and go in hard on them, what would it be?
I mean, if you just had to find something, it'd probably be
the turnovers. That's ball. Sure. That's not personnel.
But I'd say the physicality. I mean, that feels like a thing. But I also
not a real physical era either.
Exactly. I think that's also just if you're forcing me to pick out an issue about
that was it.
That was it. It'd probably be physicality and turnover.
But who's the league allowing to play bad boys Pistons style?
Exactly.
Nobody.
Heck, it might be the Pistons. You look at what some of the guys they got over there. I mean, the bad boy Pistons might be coming back. But no, and then I think,
this is high old times for Grizzlies.
Sure. Yeah, it is. And I think another thing and I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday as well, but there wasn't a market for Marcus Smart out there from any team. There was no team because the Grizzlies made it very clear Marcus Smart is available.
And I think that was some of the finger issue.
Sure. And that's definitely part of it. I think that's a reason why the Washington Wizards said, yeah, we'll take this deal. Not only did they get a first-round pick out of him, they want draft capital. Mm-hmm. But I do think if Marcus Smart can get this finger healthy, if he can show, hey, I can still play, there will probably be a team in the offseason that goes, we could use a Marcus Smart as a backup guard and try to go out and get him. And so but I was a little surprised because early in the day yesterday, I was seeing the Bucks are interested in Marcus Smart. And then that fell through, and he ended up with the Wizards. So, no, I
really would like it, the Sissy Log Cabin text line, on and off the court. Can you find a criticism of the Grizzlies?
Rolling right now.
Some would say concessions, but I think that's offset by the lesser expensive ticket prices.
Yeah. It's a good question. It's really a good question.
I can't find one. If you can, let us know.
Yeah, but I think this team is in a really good spot, and I've seen a lot of people complain about that you gave away 2 guys and you didn't get anything in return, but I think this team is in a really great spot where those guys weren't playing. Marcus Smart had been injured. He wasn't playing. Jake LaRavia, only 4 minutes in his last game. Obviously, I think trade conversations were in place, but you have the guys in place that you want to play, and you were able to keep those guys. I think that's what matters. Well, let's get to a break. When we come back, Bruce Marshall, he joins us to talk some wagering.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you're a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe in 2024. We can't wait to serve you.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Sheldon or 30546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Call us today.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every dollar you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's on Highway 64 in Marble, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Love is in the air, and it's time to remember all the sweethearts in your life. The best way I know is Dinstall's. It's Valentine's Day on the 14th. We're celebrating on Monday with our annual Valentine's Day remote at Dinstall's, where they make the candy on Pleasant View. We will be launching chocolate-covered strawberry season. That begins on Wednesday. Remember, nobody dips them like Dinstall's, and we'll see you on Monday on Pleasant View.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders. CBS Sports, Vegas website, and sports.net for the 30 years on Memphis Radio. Canada Sports Time, Bruce Marshall with Brian and Brian.
Bruce Marshall joins us now from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net to talk some wagering. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. The biggest game to talk about this week, it's the Super Bowl 59, Sunday night, Kansas City and Philadelphia. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Kansas City, a 1.5-point favorite, the total at 48.5. What do you like in this one?
I actually don't like either of these teams, so I guess it makes it easier to look at it.
Yeah.
A lot of teams I don't like. I don't like Dodgers. Whatever. So at least the Dodgers aren't playing here. It is interesting because in Las Vegas, other shows I have done, and just talking to people around town, it's a really split opinion on this one.
Very.
Almost more even than their matchup 2 years ago. When I think more people thought Philadelphia was going to win 2 years ago. And even last year, more people thought San Francisco was going to win. So the Chiefs seem to be always a little bit underrated here going into these Super Bowls they've made. Yet they've won the last 2 years. So here they are going for 3. What I find very interesting about this one, though, is here. You mentioned that, Brian, about the point spread, 1.5. There have been some ones out there, but it's really stayed right about there. And most of the wagering, from what I'm hearing from people here in Las Vegas, a lot of the bets on Philadelphia are coming in on the money line. You get a little bit better price, maybe a plus 105 or so, plus 110 perhaps. And the bets on Kansas City are coming in right on the spread. They're laying the 1.5, and they're not playing the money line. So that just sort of indicates how split this is. By me, the question is, it's Philadelphia. How much better are they than they were 2 years ago? And I think this defense a little bit upgraded. They've added some pieces there. The Fangio factor, I think it's a plus. The defense was pretty good a couple of years ago with Gannon, but this is a little bit different this season. And, of course, the Saquon factor and all those explosive plays that he delivers, and that is really unique in the NFL. The only guy in the last 15 years who has done some of the stuff that Saquon has done has been Derrick Henry, I think, and as far as the explosive plays, I mean, a little bit more even for Philadelphia. But I can't get away from the thought that this game is probably going to be close. And
Kansas City
if it's
wins.
going to be a close game, it is really hard to pick against the Chiefs. Their record in these one-score games, Mahomes' record, and his performance on these drives late in the game when he's behind or the tied or the Chiefs need a score to get the result is just out of 13 of the last 14 in that spot. He's actually gotten a score out of. It's very hard to pick against them in a game where you're just kind of picking the winner. And I know Philadelphia's record, is so good this year too, but I just find it hard to pick against the Chiefs if the game's basically a pick 'em, and this basically is, and if the spread is under 3, I mean, I can see this game landing 3 just like the Super Bowl did 2 years ago. So I'm going to lean to the Chiefs a little bit. I do want to point out, maybe we talked about this last week, these teams also played last year in the regular season, so they have met once since the Super Bowl, and the Eagles won that one, 21-17 on a Monday night at Arrowhead last November, or November 23. I was actually on an airplane trying to watch that game. But the Chiefs had lost some games late last season, and they recovered in time to roll through the playoffs. But I'm leaning to the Chiefs because I think it's going to be close, and I just don't want to pick against them in a close game.
Your score?
23-20. So I'm looking at a little bit under, just because that's been Kansas City's pattern. I know the Buffalo game got higher scoring, and of course the Eagles got involved in that wild one against the Washington, but it was mostly the Eagles doing the scoring. Remember, though, I mean, Philadelphia, they were so close to getting knocked out by the Rams a couple weeks ago, and they could have been out of here and not even in the NFC title game. So I think there's a little bit deceiving, that scoreline against Washington. That got out of sight late in the game, but this one's going to be really close, I think.
I'm with you, Bruce. I think the Eagles are better than they were 2 years ago, and it's not just Saquon Barkley. I think the defensive front, while it was really good with Fletcher Cox, I think it's a little bit better. I think the offensive line is a little bit better. Here's my question for you. Is Nick Sirianni better?
That I don't know.
That's
and
big.
I think it's I think it's helped him, though, to have a guy like Fangio around. And he's brought in Kellen Moore this year too. So and it looks like Moore might be off to the Saints here pretty soon. So I think staff wise, and was that Sirianni? Was it Howie Roseman who got those guys in there? I'm not sure, but the Fangio presence, having a real veteran guy like that, I think that's got to be a plus for Philadelphia. So staff wise, Philadelphia, those are still some younger guys, Steichen and Gannon. The last time they were in the Super Bowl assisting Sirianni 2 years ago. Having Fangio there, I think, adds a little bit more stageness to the Philadelphia sideline.
If the Eagles win it, I think Howie Roseman will get a lot of credit and should. And his background, his story is quite interesting. It was he, with his friendship with Jed Fish. They weren't they roommates at Florida together?
I think so. I think they were, yeah.
And
it's,
football savants.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, both of them. And, his moves have worked out really good, although none quite as good as the Saquon signing, which I argue might be one of the best free agent signings ever.
Steal.
And I think we mentioned this last week. I mean, the Giants should have their franchise revoked by the NFL for letting this guy walk. But
why did the Maras and the Tisches allow the Giants? Because last night, my anger, I really wasn't that mad at the voters over Eli, and certainly not mad at his teammates. Had a great defense. I was really mad at Jerry Reese, especially after that first Super Bowl, to not put more around him. They did get the second one, and when Plaxico came undone, Jerry Reese twiddled while the Giants burned.
Yes, they sort of faded out of it, and a couple more shots I thought they might have had, later in the last decade, and they didn't quite get over the hump. I think we forget sometimes, though, how unlikely that second Giants Super Bowl was. I mean, that team was only 9-7 in the regular season, and but the parallels between that season and
Frightening.
the Super Bowl season 4 years before were uncanny.
Every
and
game
how
played
they,
out.
Everything, and who they beat, how they beat them, and then of course the Patriots again. So, but you're right, they did sort of let that thing burn. And in this last off season, you figure they opted. I mean, they have still kept Dable in there and the GM are still in there with the Giants.
They just like getting their check, don't they?
They do, and but they're keeping
okay.
him on board, and they opted for Daniel Jones last year to keep him around for another year instead of Saquon. That says it all.
You can't love winning when you re-up with Daniel Jones.
No, you can't, and we'll see. This is that's why I'm sure Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward are crossing their fingers. It's not the Giants who call their name. In draft day coming up in April.
Not my favorite analyst by any means, and a lot of it has to do with the Ole Miss LSU rivalry. But Ryan Clark did have a good line about Spagnuolo for the Chiefs. He said he's been so good, he's going to get Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame.
That's right. And Spagnuolo's got. I found out this would be like 6 Super Bowls for him if he can win. Which for an assistant, that's got to be some sort of a record. So. And that's the other factor here too. The Kansas City defense, it's gotten enough respect here, and it deserves it because this is a little different Kansas City than it was, especially the first time they got the Super Bowl and they won it against the 49ers when they still had Tyreek there and it was more of a big play offense. This offense is doing it a little bit differently. The defense has improved. The defense really turned that game around against the Niners last year in the Super Bowl. And one other note I would point out, in the last 2 meetings with the Eagles, Mahomes doesn't have a pass play longer than 22 yards. So it has not been really, downfield stuff. They've been just sort of chipping away, and that's been the modern Chiefs the last couple of years, Mahomes, sort of the post-Tyreek Chiefs doing it a little bit different.
Bruce, in Sin City, in Las Vegas, is it like it used to be for Super Bowl weekend? And I ask that because now you can throw a rock and hit a place to go bet on the Super Bowl legally. Heck, you can pick up your phone. Has that minimized? Has that taken some of the steam out of people from around the country rolling into the Super Bowl to game watching and wager?
Probably so, although I'll be honest with you, I don't go down on the Strip too much. We're kind of up here by Green Valley Ranch. We just hang out up here. I don't go down there too much, but I mean, I think you're probably right, though. I mean, this doesn't have to be a destination now to come here and bet the game because you can do that in so many different spots. Having said that, it's still a very big deal here, and all the hotels still have their big Super Bowl parties and invite the high rollers to it. So it's still a pretty big deal, but I think you're probably right. Nationally, this isn't quite the magnet, and people coming from everywhere. There's still some of them, and it's still Vegas.
But it used to have a lot of cachet. I mean, from my hometown, there used to be 12 to 20 guys go every year and look forward to it like the trip of their lifetime.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think
I don't know one going anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it closer to your house and have a good time too. Because
on Sunday you can quite literally bet the Super Bowl on Sunday legally while you're at church.
Yeah.
You can, and and all the places around the country. If you like to go to a place and watch it at a casino or a sports book, they're all around the country now, so you can do it that way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you sure can. Well, Bruce, I know you don't usually like giving out props, but is there anything for Sunday's game prop wise that you're looking at?
Do the props bore you? Or are you at all intrigued by them?
For me, they bore me, but I can understand why people like them. I'm all for people having a good time if you like to do it.
We're not fun fighters, are we, Bruce?
No. Let everybody have fun doing it. My only suggestion is be careful doing them because
they fire a burn.
I've been at Super Bowl parties and things like that. I mean, people having 15, 20, 25 different props.
Yeah,
and it's nothing worse than watching a game when people are cheering on every play.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some prop going on, but whatever. People have fun with it there. My only suggestion is sort of have and you could be wrong on this stuff too, but base your props, have an idea how you think the game is going to go, and then maybe base a couple props on that instead of just all over the board, and most people bet the props over. The one I might look at this week, a couple of them, on the Philly side, I really think sort of an unsung hero there. I mean, all the talk about Saquon and Hurts. Dallas Goedert is really an important guy for them. You know, and he missed. You look at his stats this year; they don't blow you away, but he missed almost half the season. So you know, you extrapolate. If he had played a full season, his numbers would have been a little bit more. But he has been the most targeted receiver for Hurts in the playoffs, and he's made some big plays throughout the year. I go back to that Week 3 game against the Saints. I mean, he's the guy who made that big play, that short pass from Hurts. He turned it into a 61-yard gain. You know, they were ready to lose that game, and they had lost the week before to Atlanta, and they had that game at Tampa Bay. They lost the next week. I mean, who knows how this Philadelphia season goes if Goddard doesn't make that play, but he seems to be there all the time. His total for yardage in the game is only about 52.5 last I saw. That's one I can maybe see over. And Kansas City has been a little bit vulnerable against tight ends this year. So, and Goddard seems to be a guy that Hurts really likes to go to in the clutch. So I might look at some props involving him. There's a prop out there. You get about a 20-1 with Goddard being the first TD scorer. You know, that's a pretty hefty price, but that might be worth a fling there. The other prop, though, I think is really interesting. Kansas City to win. At some point, it trails in the game. And the Chiefs do that a lot. Chiefs to win from behind, they can be behind at any point in the game, but if they end up winning, your playoffs by plus 175. That ain't too bad. You know, Mahomes, 5.5 carries. One thing to note, if you are taking a knee at the end of the game, that counts as a carry for the quarterback. Sure, that can hurt your yardage a bit, but I've seen quarterbacks add 2 or 3 carries to their total at the end of the game taking knees. So, and Mahomes has, you know, they've used his legs when they've had to, so I could almost see him getting over 5.5 carries.
What about the unthinkable? We've only had 2 in Super Bowl history. Anyway, would you wager back-to-back overtimes?
You would get a good price on that on the overtime, and that might not be a bad bet. But it's been 2 overtimes within the last 7 years, and a couple of other ones could have been.
Sure should have. Pittsburgh and Arizona should have been.
Pittsburgh and Arizona could have been. I mean, this game
Seattle,
2 years
New
ago
England.
could have been overtime. Mm-hmm. Seattle, New England could have been. This game 2 years ago could have been. We've had. I mean, the Bengals and the Rams could have been. I mean, there were 3. The last 3 Super Bowls have all ended with 3-point margins. So,
way back, 49ers Bengals should have been overtime in Detroit.
Could have been, sure. Yeah, and that could have been. And the other one, and there have been a few Super Bowls where the safety has been the first score. You get a pretty big price on that, and that's pretty wild. But we mentioned this last week. There was one Super Bowl once where the Super Bowl, the halftime score was 2-0. Pittsburgh, Minnesota, back in Super Bowl IX, the last game ever played.
Harmon Killebrew, 2-run home run, wasn't it? No, it's Pittsburgh. Yeah. It was Pittsburgh. It'd been Willie Sturgeon.
There you go. The last game at Tulane Stadium ever in January of '75. 2-0 at halftime, if you can believe that. So
with that last night, Eli not getting in. Fran Tarkenton was a famous second ballot. Do you think Eli gets in next year, Bruce?
Probably. I'm trying to think who else gets there. Who becomes eligible next year?
Drew
but
Brees
I think
is big.
Yeah, Drew Brees is big, but there should be room for Eli pretty soon. This is a pretty thin. I mean, only 4 guys got in here, so we usually see a couple more than that.
I mean, what's football trying to be baseball and think we're putting people in heaven?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I could no. I think Eli will. I would bet on him getting in there next year. Yeah.
And when Fran Tarkenton at his retirement, he was all-time leading passing yardage guy.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, sometimes, I think the MLB that there's a lot of things I don't like about baseball. They take it a little bit too seriously, but sometimes there are some slights in football too. Usually, I think it's I like the way the football and basketball is kind of way out there, and it's kind of crazy. So football usually comes close to being right on this stuff more than others, but I expect Eli to get in there. I would be very surprised if he didn't.
Yeah. Talking to Bruce Marshall, he joins us every single week to talk some wagering from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. Very limited college basketball slate tonight, only about 7 games. Is there anything you like tonight?
There's 3 of them I actually like, believe it or not, tonight. A light slate like this many. I'm a little worried about it. USC's an interesting underdog at Purdue tonight. Muss has done a pretty nice job turning this thing around for SC. A lot of downhill guys in the perimeter who can attack the paint. They'd like to have Desmond Claude, their top scorer from Xavier, available. He missed the Northwestern game. He might play tonight, but Slatcher, the transfer from Penn, had his best game. Purdue is good, but this is a pretty 13 points is a lot, so I might take USC. San Jose State, if you bet that game early against Fresno on Tuesday and you laid 2.5, you got a cover out of it. If you bet it late 3.5, you did. But if you got it early, that's 17-1 now for San Jose. Its last 18 games. They're at Boise tonight. Really close game the first time in San Jose. You're getting about 14.5. Too much to give San Jose under St. Louis and St. Joe's. St. Louis has been a great under team. It was 11-1 the last 12. Went under the other night against UMass. About 146 tonight. Might look under that one. The one tomorrow I'm really looking at, though. Fascinating game on the card. It's this Alabama-Arkansas game tomorrow. In Fayetteville. And what Arkansas has done here in the last week, I mean, I had buried this team.
Me too.
I'm maybe on this show last Friday. I thought going into Kentucky, no way. But you go into Kentucky and Texas within a week and win them both. And just looking under the hood here a little bit, I almost think, Boogie Flan getting hurt maybe was the best thing. As good as he is, they're playing better without him. Mm-hmm. And Cal has been able to put Wagner back at the point, which is more comfortable for him. And Janelle Davis, who was really didn't do much of anything, the FAU transfer, I thought he was their biggest hit in the portal they got. I thought, this is really going to be good for Cal. He didn't do much at all until the last 2 weeks, until Flanders out. And all of a sudden, Janelle Davis is putting up some really good numbers. They're getting, this is 6.5. I saw early price against Bama tomorrow. I might just ride Cal for a while here. I mean, I think they got something going, and that was wire to wire. The Texas win the other night, and going into Rupp in that environment, something special's going on maybe not with Arkansas. I'd take a look.
Bruce, you would have loved Oxford on Tuesday night when Ole Miss in the first half. I've told people I thought it was the best, in that half, was the best Ole Miss has ever looked in any sport.
Yes, that was really good. That was really good. And, listen, Ole Miss is going to be there in March somewhere, some regional. We're going to be talking about the Rebels because, that they're going to be there. The whole SEC picture, though, and just back to Arkansas for a second, I think they're back in the radar now around the cut line there, and they could land on the safe side of it. The team that I think has a little worry right now is Vanderbilt. When you look, they do have a couple of good SEC wins, but non-conference they don't. And this is you could easily lose 4 or 5 in a row in the SEC. They might be in that sort of a mode right now. They lost again the other night. A couple in a row. They got blown out last weekend too. So they're in some trouble. As they're fading, Arkansas is coming. I still think this might be a 13-team SEC in the dance, and Arkansas maybe falls on the safe side of the cut line if they can win a few more here. So keep an eye on the Razorbacks.
Who is the team right now on February 7th? It's their year to win it all in college basketball.
Auburn. If Janae Broom is back, don't get him hurt again. I know they did okay without him, but you don't want him to go down. He makes them a really good team into a great team.
Who would be next? Duke and Flag?
Yeah, so them and Cooper Flag. Yeah, Duke maybe, but Duke's won enough. I'd almost rather see Auburn win than Duke.
I'm pulling hard for Pearl. You know what I think is going to happen in the rest of Bruce Pearl's life, Bruce? And I'm serious.
What's that? Yeah.
He wins in college basketball, retires, and he's the successor as prime minister to Beebe.
Well, who knows?
How about that?
Could be. I was thinking maybe he's a successor to Vitality ESPN, but you got a higher thing for him.
I'm aiming a little higher.
Shooting for the stars.
Yeah, going a little bit higher. By the way, I do think we got a chance to see an Alabama-Auburn final game if the regions line up right and they wouldn't meet until the championship game. Wouldn't that be something?
I can't wait to see Jay Billis's tears.
Oh, that certainly would.
Yeah, sure would. Anything you like in NBA or NHL tonight?
Yeah, interesting here. I could see Embiid's supposed to play tonight for Philly. He did come back earlier in the week, then he missed the Wednesday game because he didn't want to play back-to-back. So they'll have Embiid and Maxey and George all on the floor at the same point. But Detroit's not all that bad, and playing some higher-scoring games. Total's about 228 there. I could see that one going over. The Hawks at home. The Hawks have been losing, but they've been losing close. I'm not sure Giannis is playing tonight for the Bucks. They're laying 5.5, 6. They have not been playing well lately. That seems like a little bit much for the Bucks to be laying in NHL. There's a great goalie battle up in Winnipeg tonight. Sorokin for the Islanders. Look at what he's been doing lately. Look what the Islanders have been doing lately. And Winnipeg with Connor Hellebuck, who might be the Vezina favorite. Totals 5.5. It's a lower total. This has 2-1, 3-1 written all over it. That's the way these teams are playing now, so maybe an under in that one up in Winnipeg.
I like it. Bruce, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, thanks. Check me out online at VegasInsider.com with picks up there. The old standby is also CBS Sportsline, Sportsline.com. And the new place for picks with a different twist, picksandparlays.com and winnersandwhiners.com.
Bruce, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck this weekend. We'll do it again next Friday.
Enjoy the Super Bowl, guys. Thank you.
You too, Bruce. Another Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you, Bruce Marshall, with us every Friday. And I think there was just a hole-in-one in Phoenix. I hope Ty saw it.
I hope he did. I think I did see that.
I don't know who it is. I don't want to play the audio, fire the audio over there.
No, certainly not. Certainly not, especially there.
Oh, I hope Ty was there.
I hope so. That'd be fun.
That looks wilder than normal out
really?
there.
Oh, I'll have to look at it. I saw something about the Waste Management Open, and I was hoping it was
I'm scared to hit too many buttons.
Well, yeah, any other golf event, I would say have at it. That one, maybe not.
I'm getting some kickback to Bruce Pearl for Prime Minister. I'm serious.
Yeah. Hey, why not?
Because he is
heck of a leader,
tough and devout.
He sure is.
I love him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's so good, and that game tomorrow should be a really, really good one. Well, let's go ahead and get to another break. Speaking of Bruce Pearl, when we return, we're going to talk a whole lot of college basketball. We've got a new bracketology from our guy Joey B. We got to talk about
just
Tigers.
start calling him Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Pearl. I like it. I think we could get something with that. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, talking some college basketball.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
It's inevitable. Rain, snow, and ice are coming and will make driving a challenge. Thankfully, the experts at Tire Rack know a thing or two about conquering winter's worst. New tires elevate traction and will keep you safe. Tire Rack sells only the best, like the full line of General tires. Go to TireRack.com/Colin. Build a winter tire and wheel package for do-it-yourself installation. Ship fast and free and backed by 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Something amazing is happening here. AI is increasing workloads on CPUs and GPUs, but this company's laptops are more than keeping pace. That's because CDW worked with them to future-proof their laptop fleet by configuring them with devices enabled with AMD Ryzen AI. Improve performance and free up resources with AMD Ryzen and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/AMD client.
Time. The weather's getting right for a little time outside. Putt Putt Golf and Games Driving Range is a good place to be. At Putt Putt Driving Range, $10 gets you a small bucket of balls, use of the chain and putting greens, and putt tracer. Even senior rates available. Putt Putt Golf and Games Driving Range. 5484 Summer Avenue. Putt Putt Driving Range. 901-386-2993. Putt Putt Driving Range. It's Putt Putt time.
Love is in the air, and it's time to remember all the sweethearts in your life. The best way I know is Dinstall's. It's Valentine's Day on the 14th. We're celebrating on Monday with our annual Valentine's Day remote at Dinstall's, where they make the candy on Pleasant View. We will be launching chocolate-covered strawberry season. That begins on Wednesday. Remember, nobody dips them like Dinstall's, and we'll see you on Monday on Pleasant View.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a mother pheasant plucker, I pluck mother pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call Five-Ash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Attention homeowners, it's time to score big with Choate's air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and generators. For the first 50 callers who purchase a new carrier system, generator, or tankless water heater, choose between 60 months of no-interest financing or free air duct cleaning, a $500 value. Plus, don't miss our $39 February deals. Choose from a furnace tune-up, a sewer inspection, or an electrical panel inspection. It's the perfect way to prepare your home for the season. But hurry, this winning deal ends February 28th. Don't fumble this opportunity to claim these amazing offers. Call Choates today at 347-8086. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We're going to talk some college basketball. Usually we talk with Ty Richardson in this segment. He is out at the Waste Management Open.
On a big, rollicking guy golf trip, playing golf at a lot of places.
I love it.
In Scottsdale in attendance today. Got in line Memphis time at almost 7 o'clock. That's 5 out there.
Oh, man.
To get to the party hole.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, it is a mad dash to try to get seats.
Oh, I so hope he saw a hole-in-one.
Oh, we did too. Still don't know who it was that hit the hole-in-one, but
I've never seen a hole-in-one anytime. Tournament, weekend golf, nothing.
No, I haven't either.
Well, forever, I wasn't even on the golf course when one occurred, and then like at a golf course and heard about one, and then out at the golf tournament here at the FESJC one.
Really?
But I've never witnessed one.
Huh. So I finally have the name. I finally found it. I saw like 3 videos. Nobody said who it was.
They buried the lead. Everybody's sending out the hole-in-one.
It was Emiliano Grillo. So
good deal.
Yeah.
Argentinian.
So that's right. So a little hole-in-one for him.
Argentinian, just like Memphis winner in 2015, Fabian Gomez.
I love that. Speaking of golf.
Greatest Argentinian player ever. Y'all, lunch next week, anywhere y'all want to go every day, if you can tell me who I'm thinking of. Great. Don't Google it, Landon. Greatest Argentinian golfer ever, and very notorious for something.
I have no clue. I thought you were just talking Argentinian athlete. I was going to say Messi, but
I think that would be right.
Yeah,
but
golfer would be. I
have no guesses either.
I have no clue.
Roberto Di Vincenzo. Name do anything for y'all?
Doesn't do anything for me.
No. Won the Masters.
Okay.
But didn't win. Signed incorrect scorecard.
Oh, wow.
And Bob Goldby named the winner.
Wow.
But Di Vincenzo also won, I know, a British Open. Did he ever win a PGA? I don't think so. But won a British Open but would have had British Open and a Masters, except for and the scorecard in Jeopardy. He wrote. I'm trying to get this right. He wrote down a 4 when he really made a 3, something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's tough.
Strict rules.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that. Masters. That's like 10 times worse than I thought it would be.
That's bad.
You know, I know we're going to talk college basketball here.
Is Angel Cabrera from Argentina?
Good question.
If he is, he would rival Roberto being greatest.
Yeah, he would be up there. I know we're going to talk college basketball, and while we have a second, we have 4 tickets to the Tiger basketball game on Sunday, thanks to our friends over at Sissy's Log Cabin. They've been hooking us up with Tiger tickets for football and basketball. We have a 4-pack of tickets for Sunday's game. If you want to go see Memphis needs everybody there.
Call right now.
This is the revenge
Tigers
game.
do.
They're getting back nationally
17th ranked team,
17th
solid team.
in the country. They get a win on Sunday. They're only going to move up in the polls. Need people there.
If the Tigers go to a Sweet 16 or better, won't you feel bad you had a chance to go all year and didn't go?
Didn't. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to.
Call right now and you can go.
901-360-8255. First caller, you're going to Memphis and Temple on Sunday. First caller, you get tickets. Landon will hook you up. Last thing on golf before we get to some college basketball. So I yesterday was watching Live just to see night golf. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. A golfer that I haven't even thought about since he left PGA that was on my television, and I go, holy cow, Cam Smith. When's the last time you thought about Cam Smith? Major winner, Cam Smith.
Could win this year, but he took the cash and took the anonymity.
I mean, I'm watching it, and I see Cam Smith, I go, holy cow, I forgot this guy existed.
And
there he was.
Life-changing cash.
It's the decision I guess you had to make.
I feel a little bad for those guys until we get this worked out. But
it was mind-blowing.
The news yesterday that the power brokers of golf summoned to the White House, very famous occupant of the White House that loves golf, doesn't love the PGA of America that much after they stripped the PGA of championship of being played at Bedminster.
Yeah, but that was big news yesterday. But I don't know when it gets worked out. What gets worked out, but we're in a weird place with golf.
Golf, that is the description. Yeah, golf is in a really weird
place.
And I don't know a weird / good place.
No. Weird / bad, I would say. Maybe just weird. I don't know, but definitely some stuff going on in the golf world. Over to basketball. Boy, Joey B, he never lets us down. Like clockwork, we get a bracketology from him. And Jason Munns was tweeting about it. I think he did a whole story about it today, and we'll talk with him in about 30 minutes about kind of the discrepancy between a lot of these brackets that we're seeing out and net and kind of where teams are. I thought it was really
interesting.
It's going to be a good
test this year.
It really will. And so you look at where Joe Lunardi has
I hope it kills
Tigers.
net.
I wouldn't mind it.
I want the death of the net.
I wouldn't mind it at all. But right now, Joe Lunardi has Memphis as a 5 seed. Has them playing George Mason.
That's down a peg, isn't it?
5-12. Yes, that would be down. He had them on the 4 line, I think on his last bracket.
Oh,
so
I'm there now. So Memphis and Mason playing the winner of Michigan State, Arkansas State. Bring all that on in Providence.
That would be fun.
I'm sorry for Tiger fans who'll be trying to book flights to Providence on the fly that week. That'd be about $1,200. I'm afraid round trip.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but that would be. I think that would be a good little pod there for the Tigers.
That ultimately probably would meet 1 overall seed Auburn.
Yeah. Well, man. So a lot of.
I would. Would you be scared of a Tigers versus Auburn rematch?
I don't think they'd win.
I don't either. But,
so I don't know if I'd be scared of it.
But what of it?
I think
play,
Auburn's
see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't know that it'd be worse than 16.
Maybe not. But
unless you just had that doomsday day.
Yeah. But that's. I mean, I think Auburn. There's a reason they're the favorites right now.
Against the Prime Minister.
Exactly. Yes, the Prime Minister.
I got some people stirred up over that.
You were shooting for not even the stars. You're shooting for outer space on that one.
I think we've seen that celebrity kind of moves you in politics, haven't we?
Yeah, certainly. It's certainly shown.
Now, I do think for Prime Minister, I don't know that Bruce Pearl has ever served in the military.
No.
And that is a requirement.
So. Yeah, that's right.
To be Prime Minister.
Yeah, I would highly doubt that. But, I mean, I think it's a great idea. Forget all the, the laws and stuff that goes into becoming a Prime Minister.
Oh, these very airwaves, if I'd have said 15 years ago about some politicians maybe ascending to the top of the game, I don't think people would have believed that either, would they?
No. Coaching football, and next thing you know, you're in politics.
The gentleman from Camden.
Oh, boy.
Senator Tuberville.
I don't know about that one. So this was what Jason was putting out earlier today. So Memphis this morning woke up, found themselves 43 in the net. SMU is 40th in the net today. So that means SMU obviously 3 spots in front of Memphis in the net. In Lenardi's newest bracket update, he has Memphis as the top 5 seed. Lenardi's newest bracket has SMU out of the field. Memphis is 43 in the net today. Texas is 29 in the net. Memphis is a 6 seed on bracket matrix. Texas is a 10 seed on bracket matrix. And then he says Memphis is 43 in the net today. Ohio State is full 18 spots ahead of the Tigers in net. Memphis is a 5 seed on Lenardi's new bracket. Ohio State is a 9. The point is, as far as Memphis is concerned, net placement appears to matter very little with regard to seeding. Now, I'll add mine, at least to bracketology.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. And I think it will, ultimately, behind the closed doors.
Monday, we will have Shelby Mast on with us, as we've had for years from Super Bowl on, and he will be with us. I will start with, he has his opinion, and I have mine. Right now, he has Memphis as an 8 seed.
Yeah.
He has Ole Miss as a 4. While head-to-head is not the only thing and the only decider in college basketball, I can't see in a fair-minded world a team that destroyed one has comparable record, certainly not conference opponent type quality play against, but being 4 spots different.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe 1 or 2, maybe Ole Miss a 5, Memphis a 6.
Yeah.
But not Ole Miss a 4 and Memphis an 8.
Yeah, it's a good question. 'Cause I think Shelby and I'm really excited to get him on Monday to ask these questions because. Now, look, I don't go home every night and look up 20 different, bracketologies and see
I'm afraid I'm starting
where Memphis is. But I see Joe Lenardi's, I see,
Dave Almond.
I see, some of them, the more prominent ones. Yeah, Kevin Sweeney and
Mike DeCourcy.
Mike DeCourcy, certainly.
That's getting up there at a big number,
Well,
Brian.
yeah, that's right.
It's kind of like how many teams you have to play for until you've played for everybody. How many bracketologies you have to go to until
you're
you're
looking
addicted.
at all of them, yes. And so, Palm over at CBS. So I mean,
Hi, my name's Brian. I got a bracketology problem.
I guess that's really when you know you have a problem is when you don't admit you have a problem.
That's the first big key, Brian.
Exactly.
That's what I was always told. It was true, too.
So it feels like Shelby Mast is kind of the lowest of all of these bracketologists.
He is.
And so I'm excited to hear his thoughts on it and kind of his mindset of why he has them there and some of those other teams like you just
And when he gives us the definition of WAG, we'll know why.
That's right. Why. Exactly. I love keeping up with Shelby Mast because he'll always either tweet out or on his thing. Just go, bracket posted. That's it. I love it. I mean, it makes me happy every single time.
I like when he says, I hate all y'all's teams.
Yes. Yeah, that's even better.
And he doesn't hate a single one of them.
No, but it's great.
If Ty Richardson had joined us today, which he couldn't because he's at the big golf tournament in Scottsdale,
he's having fun.
He would have picked Chiefs 31-28. After Bruce Marshall picking the Chiefs, that broke the 7-7 tie. It's now 9-7 KC out of our pickers.
Okay. Starting to wind down. Only a handful more. Us 3, Connor, Darian, and Jason. So 6 more picks. Is that right?
That's it.
Wow. All right. We're getting down to it. If Ty had joined as well, we would have been talking about the Arkansas Razorbacks and Bruce talking about them at the big game tomorrow night.
They got a chance.
Alabama. At
had
home.
a chance to save their season.
Yeah, I mean, in the SEC, if you're at home, anything goes.
I thought it was pretty over.
I did too. I mean, heck.
I think they did.
we came in beginning of the week this week saying, or no, I guess last week saying, if Arkansas is a tournament team, you have too many tournament teams, and now here we are, and looking a little differently at it.
Didn't I defend Cal recently on something like a week ago over Kentucky fans?
It was last Friday. It was a week ago from today. It was with Ty.
Golly, can I do it once a week, 2 weeks in a row?
Well, let's do it.
He's a brawler. He's never quitting.
Never quitting.
Never.
He's never quitting, and he's not going to let his players quit either.
He'll fight to the last second.
He will.
I like that about him.
I do. Look at you, Brad.
Golly.
I mean, talking about.
I'm going home. Y'all finish this last hour.
Talking about meetings. I mean, you're showing growth, Brett. I mean, look at this.
Hi, my name is Brett.
That's right. Let's get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Vargas. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meat. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it. A beloved family of families still going strong since 1948. Rendezvous.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Tiger Nation, get ready for Sunday's big game with Memphis men's basketball as the Tigers welcome Temple to FedEx Forum Sunday, February 9th at 1 o'clock. In recognition of the big game, fans will be able to enjoy the excitement of Tiger basketball from the plaza level for just $59 or get a club level ticket for 59% off. It's time to stand up, Memphis, and cheer on your first place Tigers. Be sure to get your tickets now at GoTigersGo.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Do you have it covered at Home Dinners? It's quick, it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. Many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Home Dinners, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Home Dinners offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, my big number today is the number 40. Last night, LeBron James did something historic. LeBron James had 40 or more points, 15 or more rebounds, 5 or more assists, 5 or more three-pointers made, a block, and a steal in a regulation game at age 40. Now, you might be thinking he's the oldest person to ever do it. No. He's the first person ever to have that type of stat line at any age. 40 or more points, 15 or more rebounds, 5 or more assists, 5 or more made threes, 1 or more blocks, 1 or more
Magic
steal.
had done that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could put, not a long list, I could put a list together of guys that I think probably could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
But LeBron James, the first one at 40 years old, that is...
Lakers going to be a problem.
Lakers are going to be a problem. And it sounds like, we talked about it yesterday, Luka set to make his debut on Monday.
77, selling everywhere.
Oh, I saw a video
from
last night's game where literally they have a whole rack of just 77 jerseys, and someone is there pressing blank jerseys, making more because everybody wants them.
Because we know the buses are broke and need more. Always need more, don't
Lakers know how to make business moves, and that was a great one.
And I was told by an NBA insider one thing about the Bus family. The ownership of the Lakers, that's all they have.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're not diversified, and I couldn't believe that
is
long ago that he didn't get involved in a casino interest, but was scared to when it was so forbidden.
Makes sense, I guess, but that is a little surprising.
But they don't, they don't own banks and insurance companies and all the stuff that the Lakers. Their source of income is L.A. Lakers.
I mean, if that's going to be your source of income, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. My big number, 54. There are a lot of Super Bowl tidbits and facts that I don't think ever be broken, like 39 rushes. Saquon Barkley could threaten that, especially if it goes to overtime. But in regulation, John Riggins, 39 totes, I don't think will ever be broken. For a long time, I didn't think it would ever be a overtime.
Yeah.
And now we've had 2. Here's one, 54, Chuck Howley, only MVP of a Super Bowl on a losing team. I don't think we'll ever have another one. Because let's paint the scenario. Sunday, Saquon Barkley rushes for 210, catches for 80, 4 or 5 touchdowns, but they lose.
Yeah.
You're not blocking out Mahomes.
Yeah, it's just
if
so
Mahomes has
hard.
a pulse, or if Kelsey or any Kansas City star, I just don't think there'll ever be another losing MVP.
It's just so hard.
Don't know how we had that one.
Yeah.
I guess the sports writers were all drunk in the press box and forgot about Mike Curtis' big late game interception, a rookie field goal kicker, Jim O'Brien, kicking the winner at the buzzer, or John Mackey catching a 75-yard touchdown pass for the Colts. Did they not think they could vote for a Colt that day?
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing is if the other team won, there's at least one person making plays for them. I mean,
I just named 3.
Unless this was a 3-0 game. Well, even the field goal kicker.
And what time they hand the ballots out? I don't remember the point of the game that Chuck Howley had an interception, or did he have the interception the next year? But he played good,
Sure.
but can't we find somebody on the winning team?
Yeah, there's got to be somebody. I don't think that's broken. That would be funny, though, if Saquon did have just a crazy game and they say, congratulations, Chiefs, by the way, MVP.
Akeem Olajuwon, the last MOP of a Final Four on a losing team.
Yeah.
Don't think that'll ever happen again.
No. Well, and it's just, now it's almost impossible to even do because you have the big ceremony on field, on television, where you give the trophy and then you name
that
the
guy
MVP.
can go up there and stand there and go,
Yeah.
well, thanks.
Hey, Saquon, come out of the losing locker room.
Wouldn't that be the participation trophy of all time?
Yeah.
You're there with the confetti of the other team on you. And
Saquon
thanks.
standing surrounded by the entire Chiefs team, ownership,
Only
everybody.
once in baseball history it happened. Bobby Richardson, MVP of the 1960 World Series. I'm convinced they were all drunk that day, and they handed the ballots out in about the 7th inning. Did you not stay and see Bill Mazeroski's game-winning home run? One of the 3 or 4 most important home runs in the history of the sport.
Yeah, not only was it a walk-off win, it was a walk-off home run. And
Jerry West, famously the last MVP of NBA championship series on a losing team.
That's right, yeah.
And it made him mad the rest of his life.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is no competitor, no professional competitor wants to be named MVP after they've lost.
It's not even. Is it a gold medal or a silver medal? Or
is it a medal at all? I
Blank
don't know.
medal.
I mean, because the rest of your life you can say I was MVP, but for the rest of your
No
life,
chance it ever
you say
happens.
I lost that Super Bowl. And for a lot of guys, we talk about how hard it is to even get there in the first place. That might be the only opportunity they have.
Because it's a really gross, 6-3 game, but the losing player stands out. You still got to find somebody for the winner.
It just feels like it's an award for the winning team.
Yeah.
But that is funny, and we'll see what happens this weekend. We are getting close on the picks, so we've got to wrap that up in this last hour, which is going to be fun. Where are we at now? Remind me.
We were at 9-7.
Okay, 9-7.
But the person that makes this building go is Norris Malone, and
That's
he
right.
picks Philadelphia 31-21. So we're at 9-8.
Oh man. Okay. So here we go. Last hour, last picks. It's going to be fun to see where everything falls when we're done with the show. But let's go ahead.
Stay tuned. I'm going to have a blowout.
Oh, all right. A little tease there. That's what they call that in the industry, a tease. Well, let's get to a break, wrap up this hour, and when we return, we're talking Tiger basketball because Jason Munns, the Tiger basketball beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, he joins us next.
Fall is football at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, Town Square. Monday through Friday, it's happy hour from 3 to 6. $1 off all draft beer, $5 off meal drinks, $4.50 for house wine, mozzarella sticks, queso, corn dogs, and more. Friday night lights from 7 o'clock. Dining in my grill, 835 free. I'll watch college football and every pro game. All at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland. Highway 70, fall is football. Sometimes you just need to make it fast. Like the fun that comes from a quick and 2024 Honda CB 500F. This amazing style streetlights with a narrow 471cc twin, along with a sleek GT display, dual disc front brakes, and standard ABS, all at a full price. Find fun in all wearing flexes. 2024 Honda CB 500F. Available at DeSoto Honda, 5656 William Road, Branch.
Attention homeowners, it's time to score big with Choate's air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and generators. For the first 50 callers who purchase a new carrier system, generator, or tankless water heater, Choose between 60 months of no interest financing or free air duct cleaning, a $500 value. Plus, don't miss our $39 February deals. Choose from a furnace tune-up, a sewer inspection, or an electrical panel inspection. It's the perfect way to prepare your home for the season. But hurry, this winning deal ends February 28th. Don't fumble this opportunity to claim these amazing offers. Call Choates today at 347-8086. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
I know it's not spring yet, but it's close, and right now, it's the perfect time to start thinking and planning for your backyard entertainment. Just so happens Family Leisure is thinking that way too, with their preseason pool and patio sale. Get 2024 pricing on all above-ground pools and patio furniture. Also, secure your spot for pool installation. That way, you can go ahead and start making plans. Lots of new inventory is en route, so in-stock patio furniture is up to 70% off. You want a play gym, a trampoline, how about an outdoor kitchen to go along with that new pool? They're all on sale too. You can get spas up to $3,000 off and save even more by mentioning this ad. You do that, you'll get a $250 gift card with a pool, spa, or patio furniture purchase. Winter won't last forever. The spring will be here soon, so get ready with the preseason pool and patio sale at Family Leisure, Whit Road off I-40, where family and fun all come together. Love is in the air, and it's time to remember all the sweethearts in your life. The best way I know is Dinstall's. It's Valentine's Day on the 14th. We're celebrating on Monday with our annual Valentine's Day remote at Dinstall's, where they make the candy on Pleasant View. We will be launching chocolate-covered strawberry season. That begins on Wednesday. Remember, nobody dips them like Dinstall's, and we'll see you on Monday on Pleasant View. This is Original Sports Station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Club Safety. Once again,
You say you stand by your man. Tell me something I don't understand.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour. And joining us now to talk some Tigers, the Tiger basketball beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, Jason Munz. He joins us now. As always, he's presented by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Jason, thanks so much for joining us. We got to talk about what happened with Memphis and Tulsa, the P.J. Haggerty revenge game, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how much revenge was really there, but it seemed like he enjoyed playing his old team. I know after he kind of talked about it, how he enjoyed playing there, but obviously there's a lot of fun in winning, and he's doing a lot of that here at Memphis. What were your takeaways from a game, pretty close in the first half, but a game where the Tigers were able to kind of run away with it towards the end of that game earlier this week against Tulsa?
Yeah, I mean, P.J. Haggerty and Dane Danger kind of stole the show, I think. I mean, this to me was the quintessential game that, or so far, it's been like the best example of what I think Penny Hardaway was looking for when he put Dane Danger back into the starting lineup. It's having a 1-2 inside-outside or outside-inside punch that can combine to give you 40-plus and can open up the floor for other people to contribute. Tyrese Hunter, 11 points. Colby Rogers, 8 points. You know what I mean? There was some chip in from pretty much everybody else. Everybody who played scored points. As I sit here and look at the box score and just realized. So yeah, it was just kind of like the ultimate example of what this team is capable of, or another wrinkle of what this team can be, especially offensively. The other things that stood out to me were it was the third time in the last 4 games that Memphis had 20 assists or more in a game.
Yeah.
They've got 82 assists now in their last 4 games. Do you know how long it's been since there's been a 4-game stretch with at least that many assists?
I have no clue.
No.
2018, December 2018. So more than 6 years ago, it has been.
Holy cow.
It has been that long. Yeah, that was a little bit early in Penny's tenure. It was like a month into his tenure that they did that. And to top that off, they only had 8 turnovers, a season low, against Tulsa the other night. During this 4-game stretch where they've had all these, buku assists, they've only had 48 turnovers, which kind of sounds like a lot in a 4-game stretch, but really it's only 12 a game for a team that was averaging up over 15 a game at one point. Also, that stretch way back in 2018 when Memphis had 87 assists in a 4-game stretch, they also turned the ball over during that time 69 times, far more than what they've turned it over this time. So they're just being way more efficient. And to me, like, we can sit here and talk all day long, as much as we want to, about how they're still not dominating teams the way you want to see a really, really good team do in a league that's as bad as this league. But the trend, if you dig a little bit deeper, you're starting to see things move in a different trend, especially with like the efficiency numbers that I'm talking about, the assists and the turnovers. The assists are going up, the turnovers are going down. They're still turning the other team over quite a bit. I think Tulsa finished with 16. So, like, if they can keep doing that, then I think the blowouts will come. I think the dominance will come. So, anyway, that was a long-winded answer.
That's
but
great stuff. Jason, I love
probably
that.
My biggest takeaway.
Jason, the 2-man 1-2 punch, the Haggerty out top, but Danger down low, is that the prescription the rest of the way? Does that have to be the kind of the opening bid? Haggerty, then Danger, then who?
Yeah, I think that is plan A moving forward. Mm-hmm. At least
Point
for the
post.
rest of the at least for the rest of the regular season. I think that is plan A, where it's like, get the ball to PJ. If he sees something that he wants, he'll take it. His next option would be to get it down low to Dane Danger if he's in a good position to take an incoming pass.
Old as the game itself, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then if he is, if like they send help, if they send like a double team or something to that effect, then Dane has the ability to kick it out to either back to PJ or Tyrese or
Connor.
The other PJ Carter, Colby Rogers. I mean, I think that is the prescription for that's the recipe for plan A. But as we've seen, they can do other stuff, like they've got the ability to beat you offensively in a number of ways. But yeah, I think what you've seen so far since Dane Danger got put back in the starting lineup is probably going to be the way it's going to be for the next month or so, at least, if not longer. I mean, and again, like I think it's been 3 or 4 games since Dane's been in, and I think he scored 20-plus points or 18-plus points in 3 of those 4, and he's got back-to-back games with 4 assists. If you're getting 4 assists out of your big man a game, and I know it's just been 2 games, but still, like that, it's working. The plan is working.
Here's the conference margin of victory: 8 over FAU, 4 over North Texas, 4 over ECU, 9 over Charlotte, 8 over Wichita State, 23 over UAB, 3 over Rice, 12 over Tulsa. That domination that everybody is so desiring, that just want the Tigers to go out there and just pound everybody. Is it that, Jason, or is it the legalized betting that's causing everybody the angst that they feel? Because we know there's a lot of betting, and it hadn't been over the point spreads, but there was a time in college basketball, if you're winning by those margins, everybody's fine by it.
Yeah, I think the point spreads have something to do with it, but I think it's got more to do with the metrics than anything else. Like, that's a big part of these metrics that everybody has obsesses over day in and day out. If a team is favored to win by 10 and they only win by 4, well, then that's going to hurt you metrically, And so I think that is probably where the consternation is coming from. Like the people who aren't satisfied with a 12-point win or a 9-point win or whatever, a 3-point win. I think like there's so much like hanging on every net movement that, you know, when and the other part of it is, you know, like there's been quite a few examples of or instances where Memphis has a golden opportunity to push away late.
Yeah, up 10 the
Like,
other night.
Yeah, I mean, like at Rice, this blows my mind. You know, ever since the Rice game, everybody's been sort of referencing back to the fact that Memphis was up by 10.
Yeah, that was
I think
80-70 against Rice. That's what I was talking about, yeah.
They were up by 10 with 2:50 to go. Think about this. If you look at it a little bit closer, Memphis was up 8 points with 36 seconds left on the clock, and it wound up being a 3-point game, and they were lucky it was only a 3-point game. 36 seconds, and Rice misses a shot that kept it an 8-point game, but Rice gets the rebound, and Nick Jordan commits a foul. They get to the free throw line, they hit both free throws, and it gets wacky after that. But so I do think that that's part of it. Like there's just time after time, it feels like Memphis is in this position where they've got their foot down on the gas, ready to drop the hammer, and they just don't. So yeah, I think it's that is frustrating folks, and you know, rightfully so. I mean, it is kind of. I could understand if I was a fan where it would be a little annoying, where it's like, why do we have to keep making it so dramatic here at the end? It doesn't have to be this way. But then of course, like I said, the metrics play into it. Where you know, if you don't beat the spread on a regular basis, you're going to get dinged in the metrics, and of course, the metrics are part of the NCAA tournament seeding and stuff like that. So I think that's where people are starting to get a little bit annoyed.
Jason, you talk about the metrics. You were tweeting, and you did a story about it as well, of kind of the net and where Memphis is slotted in the net and how that doesn't necessarily reflect where they are in a lot of these projected brackets from these bracketologists. What are you seeing with that? And kind of explain to people your tweets earlier in your story about kind of the difference between where Memphis is right now and where some of these other teams that are near them in the net are.
Yeah. So, you know, I think myself included, we've all kind of gotten caught up in the narrative that surrounds the net, that if you're not, you know, at a certain level, then it's going to mean bad things for your NCAA tournament seeding prospects. And that just isn't the case this season. And I'm not talking about every season. I'm not talking about every team either. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about this season, and I'm just talking about Memphis. So Memphis is ranked 43 in the net today. Maryland is ranked 15th in the net today. Okay, I think it's 15th.
16.
Or 18th. 16. There you go. Maryland is 16 in the net. Memphis is 43rd in the net. Memphis is a projected 4, 5, at worst 6 seed by almost every bracket I've seen. Maryland, in Joe Lunardi's most recent bracketology, is a 6 seed. But yet they're almost 30 spots better than Memphis in the net. And so I just think that, again, myself included, it's very, very clear that Memphis's placement in the net simply isn't going to be so closely tied to whatever seed it gets. Now, I'm not saying that there's not, like, if Memphis gets up to 35 in the net or 30 in the net, that won't help their seed. Conversely, if they fall back to 50 in the net, I'm not saying that's not going to hurt their seed. But what I'm saying is, just because Memphis is 43 in the net, that does not mean that magically, once we get to Selection Sunday, they're all of a sudden going to be an 8 seed or a 9 seed or worse. I mean, you look at a lot of the teams that are around Memphis in the net today. I'm talking about SMU, talking about who else? SMU, West Virginia, Arkansas. Arkansas is one spot behind Memphis in the net, and I believe they are the first team out of the field.
They are.
They're not even in the field.
North Carolina's 2 spots out, and they're playing.
Exactly. So, like, it's just you gotta kind of. There's other metrics that are also taken into account on these team sheets for the selection. Every team has a team sheet, and there's like 15 different metrics that are on these team sheets, and Memphis is like sitting really, really pretty in a lot of them.
I just hope this committee's really dedicated basketball people and can remember back to Thanksgiving. That shouldn't be much to ask a committee to be able to remember November.
Well, so listen to this. Like, there's a website where you can pull up every team sheet, and it updates every single day. It tells you exactly what's on the team sheet. You can separate it out and distill it down and compare, team by team. You can mix it up and match it and stuff. Memphis, I compared Memphis to 10 other teams that are projected 4 or 5 seeds in that range, 3, 4, 5 seeds, like Iowa State, Kansas, Michigan State, Marquette. And Memphis has by far the worst net ranking, but they are first in a number. They rank first in that group in a number of other columns that are on these team sheets, like road wins and losses. Memphis has more than anybody, more road wins than anybody so far. Non-conference strength of schedule, first. Non-conference wins above bubble, first. Second in overall wins and losses. That is a column, believe it or not. That is a column on the team sheet still. Just plain old wins and losses.
Will you send me a link to that site?
Well, I would be happy to. I'd be happy to send it to everybody if they want it.
Put it in a story.
I may just do that. But so, that was the crux of what I was trying to get across today. Is like,
that's great.
Pay attention to the net, but keep it in the back of your mind. Don't
there are other factors. Jason,
exactly.
This team, I'm going to speak. I'm going to say what I feel. I feel like it is a go for it team. Is that go for it to win it all? No. Is that go for it to even go to the Final Four? Probably not. But go for it second weekend, I feel like it is. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Unblinkingly, we do.
Yeah, no, I don't hesitate to say that because, again, like I said, they're beginning to, I think, again, not ignore, to me, not ignore, but just overlook for now the fact that Memphis seems to lose focus late in games when they're up big. Whatever it was, they were up 19 or 22 or something at Charlotte, and they wound up only winning by 9. Or, whatever it was against Rice, however much they were up big, and then they only win by 3, whatever. Sort of overlook that for now and concentrate on the trends beneath that. And then I go back to the assists and the fewer turnovers, more assists. That stuff, if they keep that up, and recent history suggests that they have, that they probably will keep that up, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better, and if they continue to get better, they're already good. Memphis is 19-4. Memphis is 9-1, first place in the American Conference, projected 4, 5, 6 in that range seed for the NCAA tournament, which is if it's a 4 seed, that's going to be the best seed that Memphis has had in a very long time. So things are good, and they are getting better, in my opinion. They're getting better, and the last point that I'll make, if this team has shown us nothing else, it is that when they are motivated and when they
engaged,
they feel like they've got something to prove, they're incredibly difficult to beat.
Is that team and coach or just team?
I think it's that's a very, very good question. I think I vacillate on that one. Sometimes I feel like it's team and coach. Sometimes I feel like it's just team. So I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that one. But
I'm the same way. I'm a little perplexed by it. All right, Jason, when we get the bracket in our hands, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask what team scares you most. Right now, what style of team, What's the makeup of a team that you would at least want to see Memphis run into in the NCAA tournament? Not who, but how.
Long and athletic. That would be the
and there
the
aren't
profile.
many of those.
No, there aren't. You're right. There are not many of those types of teams, and if there are, there's a good chunk of them that have deficiencies in other areas that can be exploited. That I think Memphis can exploit. But to me, from what we've seen so far this season, Auburn, Mississippi State immediately come to mind. Long, athletic teams give Memphis problems, or they have. So
bigger guards.
Yeah, I mean, they've seen bigger guards. I think, and done pretty well. UConn comes to mind. Alex Caravan, Liam McNeely,
Michigan State.
Michigan State with is it Richardson? I think that's his name. And so like they've handled the bigger guards. It's the inside guys when you're talking about super athletic, big guys. Those have given Memphis trouble. Not exclusively, but more often than not. But you know what? It's been a while since they've seen a team like that. Maybe they've corrected that problem, and but we'll see.
Jason, in that game Wednesday night against Tulsa, Musa Cisse went down with an injury, went to the back. It looked like he got on a stationary bike, was jumping around trying to work that leg out. Ended up coming in for the last, minute and a half of a game.
Mm-hmm.
How is he, and what was that injury? Kind of get us up to date on Musa Cisse.
He's okay. Like you said, he came back in the game. He was out for, I think it was like 12 minutes or 13 minutes of game time.
Did it scare him more than it hurt him?
What's that?
Did it scare him more than it hurt him?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
He bumped. He knocked knees with somebody from Tulsa, and I think he got a little bit spooked by it, and it definitely spooked Penny. I asked Penny about it after the game, and he was like, the first thing that came into my mind was Caleb Mills versus Tulsa just a year ago. And how that
Tulsa, holy cow!
Yeah, and how that dramatically altered the course of that season. And so he breathed a big sigh of relief once he realized that everything was relatively okay. Once Musa came back out off the stationary bike, he did wear a knee brace while he until he went back in the game. But then he said he's fine. I understand in subsequent conversations that he is okay, and should be good to go for Sunday.
There was another part of that game that really stood out to me as kind of odd. Nicholas Jourdain, a guy that I think we can all agree is not having his best season, and certainly I think is hearing it from a lot of people. There was a sequence in that game where on the offensive side, he gets the ball, he throws up a three, misses it way short, and turns around. This is a guy in Nicholas Jourdain who's usually very high motor, playing hard. Even if he makes mistakes, you're saying he's out there giving a ton of effort. He turns around, hangs his head, and kind of starts walking back. Tulsa releases a player, gets a wide-open layup on the other end. Penny pulled him. He sat the rest of the first half and then did not start the second half. P.J. Carter started in his place in the second half, came back in maybe about the 14-minute mark in the second half. What did you make of that sequence from Nicholas Jourdain? Because it felt rather odd. I had never seen Nicholas Jourdain have a moment like that.
In the moment, when it happened, well, don't forget, he also airmailed a free throw earlier.
Right, yes.
Than that sequence, and then he also once Tulsa got by him as he was walking back, he fouled him.
Yeah.
He like panicked and fouled it, like made it worse.
Yeah, that's right.
to give Tulsa an and one. So like, but in the moment, I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah.
Like I was just floored, and I know I'm not the only one. You just brought it up. I know I was told that when the game was over and Nick was walking back to the locker room, somebody stopped him and asked him if he was okay. Like somebody close to the program stopped him and said, "Are you okay? Because that's not you out there. That wasn't you out there tonight." And he told he said everything was fine and everything. And just so I went back and watched the replay of the game, the ESPN Plus broadcast. And I could be wrong, but I swear it looks to me like he thought the ball was going to go out of bounds. Because he wasn't the only one walking back.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people thought that the ball was just that Tulsa was going to let it bounce out of bounds, or that, just it when it landed, when it got past the point of the rim, that it actually hit the baseline.
Sure.
I think that's at least possible, but either way, to just turn your back on a play that's still live, that it's one of those things where you got to assume the play's live until they blow the whistle.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And it was not a good look. Either way, it was not a good look. And you just hope if you're a Memphis fan that he can sort himself out, and that's just a blip on the radar.
Yeah. What do you think happens Sunday against Temple, the rematch?
I think Memphis will tear Temple apart. Honestly, I don't know any other way to say it.
Bigger blowout than the Super Bowl will be.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean that's for sure. But first of all, you got the get back stuff. Temple beat Memphis. They're the only AAC team to beat Memphis. So I think the Tigers are going to have fire in their bellies just for that reason. But since Temple played Memphis, they are 3-3. They have played 3 consecutive overtime games, and 2 of those games have been double overtime, including last night, a loss at South Florida, double overtime. And last night's game, where they lost to South Florida, they played without Jamal Mashburn Jr., who the program says is day-to-day with a lower body injury. That's all they'll say is lower body injury. Obviously, if you don't know, Jamal Mashburn Jr. is not only their leading scorer, he's also the leading scorer in the American Conference and the second leading scorer in the country. So he's, if he doesn't play, even if he does play and he is dealing with a lower body injury, if he's not 100% and Temple is tired, and Temple is, having to deal with the fire in the Tigers' bellies, that's 3 strikes, and I think Memphis wins this one running away pretty far.
Yeah, I'm with you. Last thing for you, Jason, we're getting picks, score predictions, and picks from all of our guests this week for the Super Bowl. So who do you got winning, and what do you think the final score is going to be?
Give me the Eagles over the Chiefs, because there's never been a three-peat. And I think there's a reason for that. Although I get it. If anybody's going to be the first to do it, it's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. However, I think the Eagles are pretty darn good. I would say the Eagles by a field goal. Let's see here. 41-38. How about that?
Whoa. That's like they won in Minneapolis a wild game against Tom Brady and the Patriots. Great pick. Great stuff.
Yeah.
The analytics was fascinating.
Yeah, no, really good.
The whole time was fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. We'll talk to you again next week.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Jason Munns from The Commercial Appeal on the Tiger basketball beat with us every Friday all the way through. We hope one shining moment for the Tigers is presented by Jim's Place Grill. How about that all weekend? How about that to carry out for your big game get-together on Sunday? Over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of celebrations. That's a lot of big games in 100 years. That's all of them. Family time and lasting memories. That's what Jim's Place Grill excels at. The Terrace family with their touch for our community. Recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget the E in grill, and don't forget that for Valentine's gifts. Every steak grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see the difference. Don't forget them for Valentine's. Reservations not required, but one will help you. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Since 1921. A Memphis landmark, hard work, values, and a dedication to their diners, the Terrace family. They've created that memorable dining experience. Lunch menu, the staples, like the crab cakes, the shrimp cocktail, the souffle and those salad dressings, all homemade. And at dinner, the soups, the seafood, the calamari, and those steaks, strips, fillets, and ribeyes. Great bar area to enjoy this Friday night and the weekend, all at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville.
So where are we now with our picks?
9-8 KC.
It's getting close. So we have 5 more picks, us 3, Connor and Darian.
Make that 9-9 with Norris's pick.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
So we do have 5 picks left.
We are deadlocked. 5 picks left. So we can't have a tie.
Can't have a tie.
One side is going to get the edge. So that'll be fun in our next segment to figure out who the team Sportstime is backing for the Super Bowl.
We've never lost a Super Bowl. I don't know that, but
That's
I'm going
right.
to say it.
We're undefeated as far as we remember in Super Bowls, and that's
I
not
did have
saying
overtime
much.
last year. Have I reminded anybody enough?
Yeah, just a couple times.
Okay.
Only a few, but
and that wasn't in my run of predicting it every year. It was an outlier last year. The first one, it was after many hits.
Yeah, not the Yankees Cardinals World Series by any means.
I'm working on that one.
Well, yeah, keep working on it. Before we get to a break, let me remind you our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but please go out there and test drive these beautiful models. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll make our pick and preview for Super Bowl 59. That's next on Sportstime.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports Boat and RV Show, February 14th to the 16th at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter for your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports Boat and RV Show, February 14th to the 16th. For more info, go to MemphisBoatShow.com. That's MemphisBoatShow.com.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. Call now. 800-575-8924. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Corky's barbecue. Cooking it up. Down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year. Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos and pick your favorite sides. And as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering.
Encore flavor. Corky's barbecue.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 46 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Rosworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. About 30 minutes left. We got to make our picks.
Should I tell that story I just told you?
Sure.
I was 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
Loved Tiger basketball. Loved studio wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother and I were having a conversation, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Certainly not college talk time or
Right.
anything like that, but just kind of how do you envision maybe things working out? And I said, you know what I'm going to do? And I said it with all the earnestness and unctuous as you can say it. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go off to college. I'm going to make me a bunch of money. And when I come back, I'm going to be in this area and make a bunch more money. And I'm going to go to every home Tiger basketball game, and I'm going to wrestling every Monday night at the Coliseum. And she kind of took it all in and looked at me. She said, okay, I know you enjoy both. And I'm fine with that. But let's raise the goals a little bit.
higher.
Just a little bit.
My similar story to that was I was in high school at school in class, and we were doing like a budgeting, like future budgeting thing, and it was like, just say you have a job and you make this X amount of money, we're gonna set up a budget of, these are important things that you have to have, and these are things that, just whatever. And so he was like, just think about things that you would want to have in the future that would be important, that would need to go in this budget. So I'm sitting there and I go, well, I mean, I know I'm going to want to have the MLB, perfect inning. I know I'm going to want Sunday ticket. I know I'm going to want NBA. And, so I put them all on there. And, man, my budget's not working out too well.
What about a mortgage?
Well, and that's what
car payment?
The teacher comes around and he's, looking at everyone's and he goes, what's all this stuff on your budget? I go, well, I gotta watch all the Major League Baseball games, all the football. He goes, because these aren't things you have to. I go, no, I need these things.
Have you signed up for extra innings?
No, mine's a recurring.
Mine is too.
Recurring payment.
And I was going to cancel, and I thought, God, $30 a month.
Sure.
What the heck?
Mine's it's just like the surprise every year. I'll get the emails of welcome back to
And
whatever.
when I really enjoy it is on a weekend.
Oh yeah.
That's when I really maximize.
For sure.
Because I can watch all day, Saturday and Sunday, and the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I get the Cardinals through direct on what used to be Fox Sports Midwest.
That's right.
That's FanDuel as well now, isn't
That's
it?
right. FanDuel Sports Network. How about that?
All right.
Here we are.
The big game. We can call it the Super Bowl.
Here we are.
In analysis.
No ads. We can talk Super Bowl.
No, not at all. all year long at 5:30 on Friday, we've been having Friday football forecasts from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Thank you again so much to them, and thank you to everyone for the response of us on Friday. It will be back. They will be back with us starting the last Friday of August next year for us to have picks every week. First National Bank and Trust, with its roots in Eastern Arkansas as a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, now firmly in West Tennessee. Eastern Arkansas's largest independently owned bank, now in West Tennessee, First National Bank and Trust, with offices in Collierville and over on Ridge Lake. They focus on their clients in the Mid-South for all their banking needs. The personal banking app, the business banking, the online banking, and I just adore the mobile app. And I have figured it out. If I can, anyone can. Courage and confidence has been displayed by First National Bank and Trust officers throughout its distinguished history in good times and in challenging times. First National Bank and Trust, they've been recognized as one of the most progressive banking institutions in the country. Commercial, residential, recreational customers depend on First National Bank and Trust because they know real estate. Call 901-498-5763 or contact any member of that great team. So last game of the year to pick. Brian, I got a question for you like I did a few weeks ago. So I did it on college a few weeks ago. I won't say lunch every day anywhere, but lunch one day next week if you can tell me the first NFL game we picked, and it's not the Thursday game because we didn't do Thursday.
I know what it was. It was Packers-Eagles down in Brazil.
We didn't pick that one either. No, first one was a Sunday game.
Oh, my God.
Bears minus 4.5 over Tennessee. I was the lone go-against it. Bryant, Darian, Connor all taking the Titans, Landon.
Big mistake there.
I took the Bears, and the Bears got there for me. They didn't win many.
Yeah.
Bears defense got you there for you.
They can beat the Titans.
Well, and Will Levis, that started his meme streak of dropping to his knees after that interception.
That was it.
Oh, no, what's going on?
Way back opening weekend.
Titan talk on the Friday before Super Bowl 59.
You better believe it.
Who
We're going.
Titans guest yesterday.
That's right, yeah.
Brett, do you believe in the conspiracy theory of the logo, like the Super Bowl logo color scheme?
He's telling me about
to match. I've heard this advanced, and it's hit a lot, hasn't it?
So it has, and I think it actually hit this year with the Chiefs and Eagles. Yeah, it was.
I have 47 on today, and it was pretty innocuous.
It's a great sweater. I've been meaning to tell you all day. I'll look at it during a segment, and I got to tell Brett that I love this sweater.
Broke it out today. Last time it was in New Orleans, I broke out the sweater.
Unbelievable.
And last
nice swag bag they gave us.
And last time it was in New Orleans, we had a blackout on that game.
We did, and my late mother thought it was a terrorist attack.
Wow.
Calling my oldest nephew, telling him to text me and get out of the building.
Get out of the building.
Get out of the building. They're going to send sarin gas through the heat and air system. and I texted him back. I said, tell her she's been watching too much 24.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, too much TV. So
next year's logo is like blue and light blue. So
Titans.
Let's go Titans. Titans and Panthers Super Bowl maybe.
Yeah. What does this year favor?
Well, it's just the teams. It's the colors for the teams to get there. And so I don't know.
I see.
Is it the right colors for this year? I have no idea.
Yeah, this year's logo is red and green. It hit with the
Did you
Eagles
see
and
the
Chiefs.
story on the young lady that did the logo for New Orleans? I won't say, but her craft is like needlepoint and stitching.
Okay.
And she does it in the 13th ward in New Orleans, and she won the logo contest.
Wow.
For this Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Wow, that's awesome.
Great story on NFL Network about it.
That's really cool.
And a lovely person.
Yeah, I believe it. Wow. Yeah, well, only a couple days away, though. I guess we got to get to our picks now after all the build-up all week.
Darian takes Philadelphia 38-34. He says the MVP will be Jalen Hurts. Connor takes the Eagles 31-24. He says it will be Saquon Barkley. Landon.
I have been thinking about this a lot. I'm going to side with the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a second-half comeback win, 30-27, and Patrick Mahomes wins MVP.
30-27, Patrick Mahomes. Really good. Bryant.
My turn? Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you look at this game, I think a lot of the numbers would favor Philadelphia when you just kind of look at it. Obviously, they have the incredible running back in Saquon Barkley. They've got a fantastic defense. They have a lot to like, but at the end of the day, they're not the Kansas City Chiefs. I forgot who said it earlier this week on the show. It might have been Nick Suss yesterday when he joined us, and he said that there are only a couple of rules that he backs in terms of picking
You have
games.
that credo.
I have that. I don't live by many rules, but that is one, at least in sports, that is one of the rules that I live by, is there are people that you never bet against. Patrick Mahomes in a big game. You can maybe even say Andy Reid in a big game. You don't bet against those guys. Kelsey in a big game. I mean, it is this group of guys that have been there, done that from top to bottom of this roster. For that reason, I have got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I also hate the Eagles, so I would hate to see them win the Super Bowl. I'm going to go Kansas City. I'm going to go, let's see. Let's do a weird one. How about 33-28 final score? Ooh.
33-28 KC.
Kansas
Your MVP?
City. My MVP, it's got to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go Patrick. But that's kind of the easy one. I'll go Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. So that makes our picks 11-11. 11.
You are breaking the tie.
And I'm
Holy
breaking
cow.
the tie. Everything's close. The biggest margin is 6. A couple sixes one way, couple sixes the other. I don't have the stones to have the massive blowout.
Okay.
I've been thinking it since this game was settled. Thought Philadelphia really should have won 2 years ago, but what the shoulda and coulda get you?
Well,
Squad
not
dudes,
much.
nothing. Philadelphia's been waiting for this moment.
They have.
This roster, I think, is more complete than the Kansas City roster. I'm going to go Eagles, and it's a big margin, bigger than anyone else's that we've heard of, and nationally everything is right there in that trading range of 6 either way. I'm going to go Philadelphia to win 35-20, 15-point margin, and the MVP, the pride of the Starkville Yellow Jackets and the Ole Miss Rebels, A.J. Brown.
I like it. Wow.
Patrick Donahue, general manager of the Rendezvous, today had on his Eagles number 11 A.J. Brown jersey.
I love the Rendezvous.
It was great at lunch today.
Fine people over there.
I was with a Cowboys fan. He hates the Eagles like you do.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold that against him. Hey, make your choices. It's okay. It's okay. But no, I mean, you look at this Eagles team and you talk about, ever since they lost that Super Bowl, they've been waiting. And then on top of that, what happened last year, how the dysfunction, whatever was going on with that group, to say, we believe in this group, we believe in this coach, and we're going to run it back again, and then to get here, oh, man, this one's a hard one to pick.
And let me one more time thank Starkville for sending A.J. Brown to Oxford. Thank you so much.
The gift that keeps on giving. That rivalry, it'll never die, Brett. That's for sure. So everything's in the book. Our edge on the week is the Eagles. What is it, 12-11?
12-11.
Decided okay. And we haven't mentioned this. We were talking about it off air. If the Eagles win, we have a 3-way tie.
That's right.
For picks this year.
We'll tie 37, 37, 37, and there will be no tiebreaker. It will be the equivalent of, in the day, you'll be UPI national champion, Darian will be AP, and Connor will be Football Writers Association.
All right. I love it.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Nobody loves a tie more than you, Brett. So I know you're rooting for
Mr. Literalist, but loves a tie.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Kind of strange, but it is. I guess it is what it is. Let's go ahead, get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Crunch Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Tiger Nation, get ready for Sunday's big game with Memphis men's basketball as the Tigers welcome Temple to FedEx Forum Sunday, February 9th at 1 o'clock. In recognition of the big game, fans will be able to enjoy the excitement of Tiger basketball from the Plaza level for just $59 or get a club level ticket for 59% off. It's time to stand up, Memphis, and cheer on your first-place Tigers. Be sure to get your tickets now at GoTigersGo.com.
Used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today. Izervay, is GA going slower? Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a Mother Pheasant Plucker, I Pluck Mother Pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call 5 Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, brought this up yesterday, I believe at the same time, but it is official. Mike Woodson is stepping down as Indiana's head coach at season's end. Yesterday about this time, we knew that the conversations were going on behind the scenes to how do we make this work? You know, what are we going to do to make this happen?
It's delicate.
It really is. And so late last night, this morning, we got the official news that Mike Woodson would step down at the end of the season. That's another big-time opening now in college basketball at the end of the season. We know Miami is open. We know Virginia is going to be open. Now we know Indiana is going to be open. Florida State open. A lot of big-time jobs going to be open in this coaching cycle, and we'll see who the I saw, of course, they've put the home run candidates. Well, yeah, and that's the thing is nowadays you got to keep that open of, you know, maybe one of these other big-time coaches.
Bill Self-retired. Who knows?
It's a really good question, but Mike Woodson, he'll be done after this year.
Could have done without Grizz fam lamenting the trade of Jake LaRavia. Swing and miss from the front office. They admitted it today. They, you know, and they're not running from it. They tried. They shouldn't they shouldn't feel bad. You have to try. You have to walk on that edge a little bit. They held on and waited it out, tried and was patient with him. It just didn't work out. Get over it. Nobody will think about him in 2 weeks.
No, not at all. And you're right. It is kind of weird. A lot of people can't believe they traded Jake LaRavia away. Really?
They traded Zebo.
Really? Yeah, I didn't get that. What I could have done without...
Well, we did trade Zebo, and I don't know if it was this much lamentation on it.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. What I could have done without, it's got to be Eli Manning missing out on the Hall of Fame as a first ballot guy. But, of course, Eli Manning, in his way, when asked about it, answered the way you would expect him to answer. This was his quote: "I'm excited for the guys that got in. All of them are so deserving. I'm happy for them. Texted a few of them, the guys that I knew, and just congratulated them. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be my night, and I understand that. I'm totally at peace. It's not going to change my outlook on my career and how I feel about it." I mean,
I think it'd be fine.
You knew Eli Manning was going to respond in that sort of way, but you just showed me a picture that I am not a fan of, but it's okay. But no, Eli Manning,
fly,
really,
Eagles,
no, please do not do that. We're not going out on that.
No.
But wish Eli had gotten in. I feel pretty confident he'll hear his name next year.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, I think he'll be fine next year.
That's right. He's at peace. He said it.
Sure want him in. Beam me up to. I'm sorry, I could have. Where are we?
Could have done without. You're jumping all over the place, Brett. You're skipping steps.
I'm all out of whack. Could have done without where I should have done what I learned.
Okay, all right. So now what did you learn today, Brett?
Gonna be a fun Saturday at FedEx Forum against Oklahoma City. Man, right here at the end of the week, I blew the whole week. Was batting 1,000.
Batting 1,000. Dang it. No, you're not getting in the Hall of Fame now.
I know.
Wow.
Looking forward to the game of the year, I think, tomorrow night at FedEx Forum against OKC. Won't that be fun come Western Conference Finals time in late May? Super Bowl for the Tigers on Sunday to avenge the lone AAC loss against Temple. Great weekend ahead. Wrestling tonight, basketball tomorrow and Sunday.
A really, really good weekend of everything. I mean,
in the greatest wrestling town in the country.
That's right. All the trucks down there. I mean, it's exciting. It's fun. It's going to be fun tonight. I know Landon's about to head out, go down there. But how could you not, if we're just starting today with beaming somewhere, how could you not beam to the game tonight? St. John's, number 12, St. John's, on the road against number 19.
On TV.
UConn. Talk about two heavyweight
I like the Friday
coaches.
night package. Do you?
It's really good. I'm loving it. And that was, speaking of wrestling, that used to be WWE on Fox on Friday nights was the thing up until this year.
Yeah,
and then they moved
SmackDown.
to USA. And so Fox decided to do college basketball in its place. And this is a great match.
Did I see McAfee's face on some of the trucks down at FedEx Forum?
Oh, he's a commentator.
Yeah.
Is he here tonight?
No, I think
he's with Raw. Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
He's with Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and I knew he's been at Radio Rev, so I figured he probably wouldn't be here. But still, I mean, how about that?
He might make a surprise appearance. I don't know. There's a possibility.
I doubt it, but maybe. But you're right, a really good weekend, and we talked about it to start the show. I mean, the weekend for the city of Memphis. I mean, you got tonight, you got tomorrow night with the Grizzlies, you got Sunday for the Tigers, but really going to be a fun weekend. It'll all wrap up with Super Bowl 59.
At the Dome. Can't wait on Poitras on Sunday. Tomorrow in the SEC, Tennessee at OU. Florida at Auburn, Dogs and Dogs in Athens, but Bama at Fayetteville to see if Arkansas has kick-started their season.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? If Arkansas gets another win this time over Alabama, then we know they're for real.
Super Bowl Sunday NFL pregame show starts now?
Started when we started the show, Brett, is when it started, going on all weekend long. But we will have complete coverage of the Super Bowl starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. We'll also have Ole Miss at LSU tomorrow night, 7 p.m. So stay tuned, Sports 56, all weekend long for all the action. That's all the time we have. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.